Welcome to my neighborhood, children. Have a seat.
You're in like the ghetto neighborhood.
Yeah, the ghetto neighborhood of Mr. Rogers.
In the hood.
Ghetto neighborhood. Sure.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome to Why You Still Here, the show that we talk about whatever we please. Some say whatever we damn well please. You know, whatever. And today, you might see it behind my head. To quote Lucas from slightly earlier, which you won't hear, you clicked on a video as well as the video title. So
It's that time of the month, Mother Nature,
probably
baby.
not a surprise, but yeah,
Your
welcome to
monthly visit.
Special Features 23.
23.
Whatever that is in Spanish. Dosi Trace.
Close enough. They get the picture.
Yes. I never learned how you did 11 through 20 or
As probably
20
most
through
people
30.
also.
Never learned any of that. Nope. But if you're Hispanic and you speak Spanish, then please educate me down below. But yes, it is Special Features edition 23. And that means, if you are unaware, Special Features is basically that monthly segment comes at the end of the month where we talk about a multitude of things. We have something on the mind that doesn't really fit into another episode, or if we talk about something about behind the scenes stuff. I brag about my thumbnails. I don't have any thumbnails to brag about this time around. They take forever. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And or if we have like a video on the horizon that's not going to come out until after this comes out or whatever. So it's the hodgepodge episode, right?
My
Most
favorite.
importantly, though, Lucas's favorite part, famously,
Show and
is
tell,
show
baby.
and tell. Yep. And what do we mean by that? Well, we show and tell about the objects we purchased over the last month, sometimes over the last 2 months. It varies,
So if you
depending on
go from Special
a couple things.
Features, the original, up until now, I could only imagine how much we have. I haven't said this in a while, Brandon. You ready? How much we've stimulated the economy.
Oh yeah, it's probably disgusting. I
Because
thought you were
like
going to go in a completely different way with that when you started that off saying I bet it's changed so much, like the format of it, because it started off where it was more
of just
like an
literally
actual
special
special
features.
features,
Hmm.
hence the name. Like it was special features of WAYSH,
Yeah, and
meaning we
then
talked about behind the scenes stuff the entire episode.
if I remember correctly, before special features became its segment, I had pitched the idea of like a pickups video to Brandon about movie and game pickups, and then this is the bastard child of that
It all became one. We were
fornication.
probably like, oh, we got this video coming out and this, and let's tell you about this and this thumbnail, and oh, look at that and this and whatnot. And oh, we're thinking about doing this. And by the way, I purchased this. Anyway, so getting back to behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah,
it ended up going where that just became the whole concept of it. And the name special features doesn't really make sense anymore. But it's one of those things where I wouldn't change it for the world.
we're balls deep, as they say. Can't change it now.
No, 23 editions in. Can't change it. And I like it. It's unique. It's
Yes.
certainly better than uh poor assholes getting getting items. What was that like? I'm not even coming up with this. I mean, I am a little bit, but what was
I
that
think
one
it was
channel?
I don't remember the name of the channel. It was last year when I had talked to that person, but the
Yeah.
segment was like uh why are we poor or something like that.
Why are we so poor or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we still poor? It's
And why
like
are you still here? They watched
exactly.
the
It's like,
channel.
what are you ripping us off again? People like to rip us off. It's a
They
thing.
do.
They know they can get away with it because nobody watches us. So
Fucking Warner Brothers. God damn
the
it.
best way to go about it. Stupid Warner Brothers and Universal. It's like they had a line connected to my phone. I
Hmm.
look, I'm like, what is this? And it's just like a string attached to a really long Campbell's soup can.
And then
They've just been following me
somehow,
around.
somehow there's still an ongoing call, and you never notice this, but you look down at your phone and it just says Universal Studios, and it's like a like a 40-day long call. It just
Yeah,
keeps going.
yeah. It would be even longer than that because they like to steal my Cocaine Bear sequel ideas.
Yeah.
They didn't take the
Cocaine
best one,
Zoo.
though. I'm keeping that one close to the chest. I talked
You
about it
should.
in that episode, so you can go
Keep
check it
your
out if
friends
you
close,
want.
but your enemies closer, Brandon. Never forget that.
Indeed. Indeed. So we're gonna jump into this disaster here. And
See how this one turns out. It's always the worst one ever, so we'll see.
yes, it certainly is. So yeah, I don't know. You could start us off if you want.
Okay, so where do I want to begin today? I think this is where I start.
Very nice.
So I was working the halfway to Halloween event that had James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle together for a rare guest appearance, and it was pretty awesome. I'll insert my pictures here. Um, it didn't go exactly as planned. So the whole plan was they were going to do their thing in the Screamers movie killer, museum. And then afterwards, they were going to come in the store and then we were all going to hang out for a little while before they had to leave. But they had to be in Florida by like 5 a.m. that night. So they skedaddled out of there. And then not only that, like they had to funnel us all in like one by one. And I was waiting like 10 minutes listening to James Jude Courtney's British girlfriend, doing the air traffic controlling, having everybody go around, and Jay Towers was there, and I'm just sitting there like, can I get my fucking shit signed? I kind of have to like go to work right now. Um, so I I got my stuff signed, and of course, keeping with the theme of last year, I wasn't bringing Halloween Kills. Of course, I had to bring my favorite of the new movies. So here we are. And then
Very good.
obviously, I showed this off before, but here we go. We have the Nick Castle autograph. Super cool, super fun. I called him Uncle Nick, just like you told me. And I don't know if he knew what that was from or something, because he just stopped and goes, okay, I think I'll go with it. I'm like, okay.
That's so weird. He should absolutely know what that's from.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you that. That's because I went up to like I got him, went up to him, like said hi, whatever. The first thing I said was, "So I was told to call you Uncle Nick," and that's what his response was. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna press this any further. But there were a couple times where they'd walk through the store to go like sign stuff that the owners have. And that's when I talked to Nick Castle again on the way back. And the two of them both, but Nick in particular, just looked like a kid in a candy store. It was pretty fucking. I didn't know they were walking around the corner. I'm just doing my thing. And then I look over, I'm like, oh my God, there they are.
AKA nothing.
Yes. So yeah, awesome, fun event. They're supposed to be back. Well, James Jude Courtney has talked about coming back again for a third year in a row, but this time with other special guests. We'll see what happens in another year. So there we go. That was a lot of fun. But just to show it off, because I'm talking about that, I did bring these with me to get signed. The Last Starfighter, directed by Nick Castle, one of his
But they were like
favorites.
one per person.
Yeah, basically. Because I was anticipating, because last year they, multiple people bring multiple things because they talked after, the whole thing. So I had to talk during it. So it was so assembly line, like in and out. Like they made it feel personal enough because James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle are really fucking nice. But
Hmm.
it was so much faster than last year. So I wish it was a little bit different, but we'll see how it gets handled again in the following year. So anyway, Nick Castle directed this movie, and I got this just because it's his personal favorite. But here's my favorite Nick Castle directed movie, Major Payne, which had no idea that he directed it until Brandon told me. He said, your favorite movie, Major Payne,
Yep.
which I have been watching since childhood. So had to get a Blu-ray. I'm upgrading. Usually I'm upgrading from DVD. We're upgrading from VHS. This dusty ass VHS tape.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, there is all that stuff.
You also need to get Dennis the Menace, which
That was
is
the
your
one you
actual
said.
favorite movie.
That was the one you said not to mention to him.
No, no, Hook.
Oh, Hook. That's what it was. Because I told Brandon, I'm like, I loved Hook as a kid, and no, was it? What did I say? I loved Hook, and then you said, have you watched it as an adult or something along those lines? And you're
Yeah, because I used to think it was like a really great movie too, and then I made the mistake of rewatching it as an adult.
okay. I'll just leave it in the past. Let the past
No,
die.
I would
Kill it
highly
if you
encourage
must.
you to watch it like
Okay.
at the end of this year or next year, whatever, because you're pretty well booked up with things that you have to watch. But
Yes.
maybe just sneak it in there between X-Men and The Crow. Just sneak it in there
Yes.
because it's a tragedy. And that's nothing to do with Nick Castle, not at all. I mean, you think stars Robin Williams, it's a Steven Spielberg directed movie.
Jason Isaacs is in it.
Yep. That's usually all you need. He's in something, you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a classic.
Damn straight. He's the only reason Harry Potter was successful.
That's true. That's a fact. Anyway, um most people are like, who's Jason Isaacs?
Right?
Look him up, you'll know. With his beautiful blonde flowing hair, blonde
Yes.
flowing locks that he doesn't have in real life. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh,
Your pickup.
there's a lot of studio meddling, and on top of a lot of studio meddling, Nick Castle came up with the story for it, and he did like the first draft of the screenplay, I think, but basically it was taken away from him and completely rewritten like 30 times by different people, and
Jesus Christ.
none of his original stuff ended up actually making it into the movie. So it was
Poor
like
guy.
he got credit and he was like surprised he got credit. It was one of those things because it was like,
Yeah,
this is not what I came up with.
sure.
Sometimes if the movie's like really bad, there will be writers that will actually petition or sue to have their name removed from the movie. So he didn't do that, but I just use that as an example because it does happen in Hollywood, unfortunately. But
Sorry, Nick.
like
Sorry,
Halloween
Uncle Nick.
3, Halloween 3, Tommy Lee Wallace has sole writing credit on Halloween 3, but he's not the main writer. He
Mm.
added a couple ideas to it, but it was mostly another gentleman, a British man, an older British man. I think he was a novelist. He wrote the majority of Halloween 3. And when the movie finally was shot and edited together, he petitioned and sued the studio to have his name removed from it because he thought it was a grotesquerie, you know?
It's I love Halloween 3, guys, okay?
Yeah. But the guy that wrote it did not.
That sucks.
Ironically. Yeah. Yeah. He was
Oh man.
super disappointed, I guess, with what they turned his script into.
Masterpiece.
So it's unfortunate, but Niles something. I could easily look it up, but I think it was Niles something.
Sounds
But
British enough.
yes,
Checks out.
correct, correct. Well, I don't even know where to begin. This is not going to be in order. A lot of the times I try my best to make it in order. Um,
But that's an
hmm,
exercise in futility
this
this
will be a
time, yeah.
fun thing. Exorcise the demons. Anyway, so this will be a fun thing to start with. This is actually a grouping of three items, and you'll see why. So Lucas laid something on me. I think it was the last special features. In fact, I know it was something I never knew. Nobody ever
Oh, I know
mentioned
what you're gonna
it.
say, I think, and I hope.
And you could
Watch
keep some of that
Brandon
in.
watch Brandon compute lyrics in real time.
I hope I think I know I ever hear the name you call. If you call, wait, if you stab me when I fall. 'Cause baby, after all, you'll never forget my name. Whatever, that's an Oasis song.
Checks
I
out.
hope I think I know. That's what it's called. If you hear the name I call. Well, if you tumble, catch me when I fall. 'Cause baby, after all. What? Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
So yes. Anyway, so Lucas told me something that I had no idea about, and I was like, "Oh, hot damn!" And in the episode, I said, "This changes everything," and it certainly did change everything. Let me tell you,
Very
buddy,
good. I'm very
because
happy.
I got myself my hands on one of these games I had as a kid. I played all of them as a kid, but one of them I actually had and I sold it or something, which is unfortunate because I keep my stuff in beautiful
Yeah,
condition and it's
I
hard
understand.
to find these bad boys in beautiful condition, unfortunately, but whatever. That's enough
Yes,
lead
yes, it
up.
is. Very good. Did you
You
go back
got
to Second
your
and Charles?
no. Second and Charles does has like three PS1 games.
No, I thought this where you saw it the first time was at Second and Charles, and you passed it up because
Trash Depot.
okay,
No, these came from a mix of Mercari and eBay.
very
So
good.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
I'm
Um,
so glad to see it's like you have a whole new console to play.
it truly is.
I'm
And
excited.
for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Lucas laid it on me that the PS3, any version of the PS3 can play PS1 games. And I was like,
Yes.
what?
And we can, well,
Like
obviously
I,
everybody knows that, but I have a PS3 60 gig. I have a PS3 Slim, and then Brandon has PS3 Super Slim. So we have the whole
mm-hmm,
family of PlayStation 3 systems.
indeed. And I
But
thought there's
yes,
no way
ever
that
since I
this thing is
got
capable.
my PS3, my PS1 has been so for I've had a PS3 since 2009. So for 15 years, the PS3 is the only way I'll play PS1 games because I mean, you have your widescreen support, but you have the smoothing options as well. It's full, it is
Yeah.
1080p, it is HD, but it looks so much better than you're gonna get on your PS1. So I love
I
PS3
think it's
for
bad.
that.
It's the biggest attribute that PS3 brings, other than the widescreen and the smoothing, is the what's the word I'm looking for? Just how it plays. I wish I could think of a better word for that, but like it's able to like you're using much better hardware, so it
Yeah, so
plays
the
much
loading
better.
times are almost non-existent because it's just a much better system.
Unfortunately, the loading times for these are asinine.
But if you play it on
It's
your
they still take
PS1 that
forever.
has like 32 megabytes of RAM, if that,
Yeah.
things add up. But
There's just not a lot of
if you have it
there's not a
digitally,
lot
then
of
it will
skipping
run
and juddering.
faster. If it's on your disc, it's a little different. But anyway, no, the PS3 is the best way to play it because not we talked about it. 3D emulation is so fucking wonky from game to game, system to system. So that's the best way to play it.
Yes. Yes, indeed. But yes, no dropping of frames, no skipping, no stuttering. So it plays much better on the better hardware. But yeah, so last time I played this, I was a child and I thought it would not hold up to like the thought that I had in my mind of how much fun I had as a kid playing
That
this.
game is not that
It
bad.
absolutely
I've played the
did.
first couple levels on the 64 because I have that flash card that I bought that I showed off in special features many moons ago. And the graphics for that game are like honestly really good for being on a 64. I don't know what the PS1 version looks like.
There's this is finally my time to do this to you. This game only exists on PS1.
Then what's the other one that's on P on N64? There's two of
There
them.
was
There's obviously
there was
007.
GoldenEye, and there was The World Is Not Enough.
That's it. There we go. That's the one that I played on N64
Mm,
then.
yes. Anyway,
Okay, so that makes comparison moot.
so it is fun. Um, it plays pretty well. And then this one, The World Is Not Enough, which Lucas
Just talked about.
sort of just mentioned. Completely different developer, worked on both versions of the
Mm.
games. The PS1 version is different than the N64 one. I had the N64 one as a kid. Um, it's the superior version. It was Eurocom that developed it, which they were the same people
Okay.
that did Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, Everything or Nothing, so on and so forth. So they knew what they were doing. Um, and this developer was Black Ops Entertainment, and all they had prior to that was Tomorrow Never Dies. And then I think they had one other game after that, because I do have this as well, which is 007 Racing.
I saw that at Trash Depot like years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, this wasn't Black Ops Entertainment, so the last James Bond game they did was The World Is Not Enough, which is a lot of fun as well. I mean, these games are hard. Like, let's be honest, like PS1 games in general are very difficult, especially because there's no checkpoints, especially because they're like if you die and it's very easy to die, you're starting at the beginning of the level, you
Old school
know?
games are, I mean, if you play them, they're just unforgiving. And
Massively
I've had this
unforgiving.
conversation many, many times with my buddy, but it's like when you're a kid, you only get one game every like few months, if that. Like whether the game sucks, whether it's bad, whether
Hmm.
it's hard, you play that fucking game and you had much more time to dedicate to it. So I mean, sometimes I notice that my patience is worn thin with some of these retro because some of them are fucking hard, man. Like I've talked about PS1, Alien. That game I couldn't finish that shit without cheat codes. Alien Trilogy. That game is brutally
Mm.
difficult.
Yes.
GTA 3,
Now
we
you need a
we
Die
talked
Hard
about that.
trilogy.
I have Die Hard Trilogy on PS1, actually.
All right. Well, you play that and give us a review of it. Um, so yeah, I will never play this game. It is notorious for being awful. I remember despising it as a kid. It hasn't got any better with age. People hate this game. So I got that just to have it, in the collection. And I was fortunate enough to buy three of these all together from one seller.
Oh, that's good.
And, they show up and it's got like a crack in the case. And, this game worked for the first four missions and then stopped working altogether. So I had to get another one. I had to buy off of eBay. And
You
I
just got
talked to the
another
guy. I'm
disc
like,
only copy.
your game, because it said one of these was professionally refinished, one of these discs. And I said, oh, I know which one it was because it stopped working. And he's like,
Because
yeah, I
they,
don't know which one it was.
well, surfacing can be tricky because if A, the machine is shitty, or B, the person doing it doesn't know what they're doing, you can get to a layer where you're removing data from the disk. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful
Yeah,
with shit like that.
absolutely. That's what happened because it looks perfect. You don't see any scratches on it at all. So I
Yeah, when
think
that
they
happens to
went
a game,
way too low.
that's exactly what happens.
Usually you should still see some scratches,
Yeah.
and there's none. And he's like, it looks good. I'm like, yeah, I agree, it looks good. It just stops working. So he was being kind of a dick, but whatever. So I got another copy. That one did have scratches on it, and that one works. So
hmm
anyway,
I mean, but as far as your
basically,
case with the crack in front of it, though, I mean, obviously they're just interchangeable CD cases. So as long as the
yeah,
back art and the booklet is fine, like it's whatever. You can,
yeah,
and obviously replacement cases are going to vary with, their quality. So just go on, I would just go on YouTube and type in best CD replacement case. Because I have so many PS1 games that do need to get the case replaced.
yeah.
because like
we'll
the
work
nubs on
on
the
it.
top snap off so easily, and it's like it doesn't close. One part closes, one part doesn't. But like I said, the booklet in the
There's a
back,
couple
fine.
broken like that as well
Yeah,
here. Almost all of the things that hold the disc in are broken on all of them
yeah,
to one degree or another. That's the big thing that's different. I mean, if you have, you know, OCD and you're really particular, finding a CD case that has the same design of the CD holder is very difficult. You
yeah.
wouldn't
Where
think
it's
it
like
would be.
without opening the PS1 case, spiny, long, and there's a lot of them. Am I right? For the spindle in the middle.
Um, so here's an example of one where they're broken.
Yep, long and
So it's
spiny and a bunch of them. Yeah, that's what I thought they
So it's
were.
that design there. And then they changed it up at a certain point because of the world is not enough has this, which was a better design. It's actually not broken.
Hmm.
So yeah, whatever. Basically, the moral of the story is that it's actually a lot of fun. And it really did like open another world to me that
I
I
know
didn't
because you
think
get
that
to
I was ever
play
gonna have.
Harold Porter PS1. You get to see PS1
Mm.
Hagrid.
Yeah,
The
I
meme, the meme, the legend.
almost when I was at Trash Depot, they had Sorcerer's Stone.
It was
No,
probably
that's wrong.
shit.
They did have Sorcerer's Stone, but it was in the case with just a disc, no art, and it was like way too much money because that game is rare apparently. But um they had Chamber of Secrets for like $6, and I came like this close to getting it. This close, but then I was like, I'll get it another time
Yeah.
and whatever. But yeah,
I would
because
think
I
Chamber of
believe,
Secrets would be more rare than Sorcerer's Stone only because it was a fucking PS1 game in 2002. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, Sorcerer's Stone came out, and there's probably like five copies of it altogether because
Well,
they weren't even sure that it
the
was gonna
they
sell.
sold over 1 million on Sorcerer's Stone because it is a greatest hits game on PS1. It's a greatest hits game on all platforms, but Chamber of Secrets doesn't have a greatest hits release, and I feel like they would rebrand that to get as much as they could at the time. So I would, if I were a betting man, I'd say Chamber of Secrets on PS1 sold a lot less.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Selling a lot less might be a good thing because then they had, tons of backups just sitting at the factory that would end up going on sale at stores for like 50 cents and stuff, right?
Yes.
So it would end up in like discount bins and whatnot. And
Yeah, but
once you go discount bin, you don't go rare.
yeah, the moral of the
Put
story
that
is
on
that
a
for whatever
shirt.
reason, Sorcerer's Stone in any capacity is just it's a hot commodity. It's a sought after game. Truly.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Oh, it's my turn, isn't
Yes.
it? So I had something I completely forgot about, and it's sitting
Yes.
right here. Brandon, where'd you go, buddy?
I left.
Oh, I see why you left, because you know what I was about to show.
I don't know. No, I didn't see anything.
Well, you're about to. Are you ready?
No.
You might be thinking to yourself, Lucas, don't you already have one of these? And well, the answer obviously is yes. This is just sitting on top of my other Xbox. But this bad boy is special because it is modded and it has a terabyte hard drive inside of it. So I have been playing games on this motherfucker through my like network and everything. It's awesome. And I've actually was able to play Futurama, the $300 game. And Brandon, you know what I have to say about this $300 game? Yeah, it's worth like 20 bucks. I am glad I never bought it. But yeah, so my buddy
Yes.
sent me this in the mail. He had an extra one laying around, and this is actually his childhood Xbox with a brand new shell on it. So it looks very nice. It's very great condition. And we're gonna have to celebrate because Microsoft is you heard Xbox is going under by 2025. I just made that part up, but I
You
wouldn't
got me
fucking be
so
surprised.
excited.
with the shit. Well, I saw something a couple days ago that they were trying to buy Valve, and I'm like, don't even fucking get me started. Because you know Valve created and owns Steam. So that's what they're trying to weasel
Okay.
their way into.
Oh, I
So
see.
let's just keep buying things and let's close all those studios and then
Yeah.
release less games than have studio closures. Say Hi-Fi Rush was a success on PS5, close down the studio. So buy your original Xbox and 360 shit now before the prices skyrocket. Cause Sega, that's what's gonna fucking happen. Anyway,
You know what game I used to see everywhere and now I don't see it anywhere because I was like, oh, I want this. Like if I see it, I'm gonna pick it up. Driver and
Driver
Driver
3.
2.
Oh, the PS1
No.
games.
Yeah.
I think I saw a driver double pack at Trash Depot and it was so shit.
Interesting. I mean, was it just Driver 2 with both discs? Because Driver 2 is two
Oh, it was
discs.
two disc game. I don't, I mean, it was years ago. I just, when I pull these memories out of
Yeah.
the recesses of my brain, it's just, uh, going to
Mm-mm.
that store for the
Driver
last
was
seven
just
plus
one
years.
disc and it was everywhere, like everywhere everybody had it, and now I don't see it anywhere. So, um, but yeah. I don't know what to go for next. Um, I mean, we're on a game trajectory here, so I'll just keep down that road.
Sure, let's do that.
Every rose has its thorn. Okay, so um I'm just gonna couple each system together when I do this. So I showed the PS1 games. Now I'm gonna show the other, staying in the PlayStation family. Um, I was like, you know what? I'm in a Hitman kind of mood, right? And I was like, oh, I'm sure. It started off because I saw Hitman contracts for GameCube at Second and Charles. And I told myself, I'm like, it wasn't in great condition. And I'm like, no, they've released enhanced versions of these,
Yeah.
upscaled versions of these games or remakes or whatever. They've done that. I don't have to worry about this game. And then I go in to look into it. That was almost English. I look into it and I'm like, no, they really haven't. I mean, they did for PS3, but then they never released another version of any of these games again, except for Blood Money. Blood Money and Absolution. Those ones they brought into
Yeah.
PS4. That was it. So for everybody that's a fan of the first game, which that's only on PC, has never been brought to another system. For anybody that's a fan of the second game, Silent Assassin, and the third game, Contracts, it's like, fuck you. That's basically it. And so I looked into it and I did some searching and I'm like, how do I play these games? What am I going to have to do? Do I have to get these on PS1 and or
Oh, I was gonna
GameCube
tell
or
you to
whatever?
just
And
go on
they're
Steam.
super expensive on PS1, by the way. Yeah, that Steam that doesn't work for me, unfortunately, because I have a MacBook and it's only capable of playing some things.
Can you
Some things.
so I've never ran Boot Camp on my Mac, but I know that that is a workaround because it just runs Windows
Oh,
versus
yeah,
having
no,
to
I use
download.
Parallels.
Okay, because versus having to download or like go on Steam and then click the Apple logo in your library to pull up only Apple compatible games. And then some of them are made on a 32-bit architecture, so they're not going to fucking work on the new games.
Mm,
Like Left 4 Dead doesn't
nope.
work, and this other game, Class of '09, I was tried playing, didn't work on my Mac. And that game was like a text adventure, like visual novel, wouldn't even work on my
Yeah.
Mac. I was so pissed off.
I have a Steam account, obviously. Like I bought those Indiana Jones
Yep.
games. And so like none of them play on Mac, period. I don't think any of the games I have like a couple of Five Nights at Freddy's games. None of those play on Mac. There's like The Sims. When you go into the store, like The Sims 4 will
Yeah.
play on Mac, and that's almost the only thing. It's real weird. But yeah, so I had no choice. I had to utilize Parallels and get that so I can play the Indiana Jones games, but even so, not all of them play. Like the PS2
I
one
see.
plays, which is wonderful, That's, you know, mind-blowing that the PS2 version will play and the N64 game won't play, you know? Like, come on.
Well,
Come
there's so
on.
much that goes into emulation. Like I told you, 3D, that's why 3D is so iffy because just the baseline of it is you're just tricking your computer into thinking that it's an N64, which it is not. So
Right.
that's why things just get lost in
No, but it's
translation.
also not a PS2, but it plays that beautifully. So what's up with that?
But
Ooh,
then you'll
wee.
but then you'll also run into situations where Mario 64, download the ROM of that, play it on your Ultra 64, whatever, and it plays beautifully in widescreen in 4K. But then again,
Mm,
you go to do that and it doesn't work. So
yeah. I tried to even do like just emulation, just by getting the ROM of I tried it with The World Is Not Enough for N64 and it would play the cutscenes and it wouldn't play the game.
there you go. That's why I always tell everybody if you want to go down that road, I just combined road and route into one word. If you want to go down that route, just get this because you're playing it on the original hardware and it's going to play identically to the cartridge. If you like it, go buy the cartridge after that. Like emulation is so iffy, man. That's why, again, like I have the modded Xbox, my PS2, I can play shit off the flash drive. Same with the Wii. I don't like emulation. It's good for 16 and 8-bit stuff, but beyond that,
Yeah, I don't know. Um, it's good for Nightmare Before Christmas on PS2 that plays on my computer.
yeah, the one that gave you Vertigo.
No, that was the actual PS2 version
Oh,
because
okay.
you let me borrow your PS2 version and I'm like, this is not gonna work for me
Because
because
the
I tried to play
anti-aliasing
it.
is like all but non-existent in that version, and it's so fucking like if you play it on this, it's okay, but if you play it on a modern TV, it blows it up, and you can see every jagged edge, and especially like on Jack's suit because it's such thin white lines, it just messes into one another and just becomes a garbled mess.
No good, no good. And I have one other PS3 game here to show, and this is one that's
Julio.
been on my list for quite a while,
Uh-oh.
and I
Is it what I
finally
think
was
it
able
is?
to obtain it.
It's not Godfather the
Um,
Don's edition, is it? Or the Black Hand edition, whatever's on the PS3.
um, yeah, the Black Hand edition sounds stupid. That's
I
definitely
think
wouldn't
that's
be
the
a
Wii
PS3
version because
thing.
the Wii version has its own name too.
Yeah, I believe that. Anyway, it is the
Oh,
Don's
nice.
edition.
Good for you. I'm glad. So how much did you pay for this
Yes.
one? If you don't mind me
So that's
asking.
a good question. I actually paid nothing. You know how I pulled that off? It was not my goal, trust me. Um, so I saw this thing for sale. All the photos look good. It was on Mercari. And I was like, okay, okay. This lady showed me a photo of the disc and she went on this whole diatribe about how her son purchased this. He had two copies of the game. I didn't ask for any of this backstory, by the way. He had two copies of the game, but he's like extremely anal and he ended up keeping the one copy and then deciding to sell this one off. So she's taking care of the selling of it, blah, blah, blah. She was very nice, right? And so, like, she made me feel like, okay, like, she's nice. This whole situation's great. The game looks really good. And so, all right, I feel good about this. It was complete, so on and so forth.
And then you went to play the game.
It showed up. Okay. And the way that Mercari works is that the seller, doesn't get paid until you rate it. And you have 3 days. And after 3 days, it will automatically rate it, right? And so I let her know, like she was so nice that I was trying to keep her, in the loop, let's say. So I was like, okay, it arrived today. It was a Thursday. I'm like, I won't be able to actually get home and open it up until, like tomorrow morning. Just want to let you know. And she's like, okay, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. I finally get my hands on it, and I noticed that there might be an issue right away, just holding the box. But I was like, let's see. And so I started dismantling the box, and my worst fears became more and more true the further I got into this box because if you can believe it, she had this thing in like she was acting like it was a bomb she was transporting, you know, across state lines because it was in three different envelopes. Okay. One of them was a padded envelope. She, once you got it past the three envelopes, then you finally got to a part of it where it was two pieces of cardboard holding the game in the middle of it with duct tape wrapped around all sides of it as hard as she could possibly do it. Okay. So not only did it take me forever to get this thing open because I don't want to damage it, you know? So I'm like trying to be really precise and everything. Like who uses duct tape? Who does it this way? Like the game, I understand it was expensive. It was like $80. I get it's expensive, but it's not that expensive. Put it in a padded envelope and send it to me. I'm fine with that. Don't wrap it with tape so tight that it actually broke the case. That's how tight she wrapped this thing up. So the case was broken, the art was ruined, and I was pissed because this thing was in perfect condition as far as I could tell. Like, obviously, a couple probably issues here and there, scuffs and whatnot. I understand that. That's fine. And I told her, I'm like, I don't want to be rude. You know, you've been super nice to me, but I just want to let you know that this game has been damaged by the way that you packaged it. And she all of a sudden became a psycho bitch. Like she went off on me. Like you don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that caused damage like you're claiming it did. And I'm like, trust me, it did. It took me forever to get this thing out. You wrapped it way too tight. Who? Like I started to get mean at this point. I'm like, who puts it between cardboard and then tapes it? Who does that? And if you do, use like one or two pieces of tape. Don't wrap it. And I just can't understand
Or
this.
at
So
least
she
use
starts
one of
getting
the
more
three
and more
envelopes
mean.
and then put the game in that envelope, and then you can put your card stock on there. Then you can do saran wrap, possibly, some cling
Sure.
wrap, and then you can do
Yeah.
two pieces of tape.
All of this, yeah, that makes so much more sense. I've never, I'll be honest with you, the only time I ever came close to an experience like this was when I bought like a mint condition Order of the Phoenix, first edition novel. And the way that they shipped it to me in the package was they put into a box that was too tight and it showed up and
The
the
dust jacket.
art dust jacket was ripped and I was pissed. It was a situation like that. That was the only time I ever came close to this. But yeah, so she like over packaged it. She damaged the hell out of it. And, some people might say, well, isn't the disc the important part? I guess, but the disc was rattling around inside because again, she wrapped it so tight it released the disc inside. And so it
What
was
did fucking
rattling around
Thor wrap this
inside.
thing?
I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And then I'm trying to explain to her that this was not right for her to do it this way. And maybe you should stop doing this in the future, kind of thing. And so I'm just like, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I'm thinking maybe she'll offer me some money back. So because I'm like, listen, lady, I'm now going to have to buy a new case and new artwork for this game. And I'm like, there's one that's on eBay right now for like
Is that the replacement
$25 or
art?
whatever. Uh, no, actually, that's the original because I put it in the cupboard and I stopped caring about it. Um, until now when I have to show it off. But so I'm like, I'm gonna have to probably buy, yeah, new art for this thing, whatever. And she's just like, oh, you're being over dramatic, all this kind of stuff. And then she's like, you know what? If you're going to send it back to me, you're gonna have to open a case. Good luck. And so I said, okay, I'll open a case then. Like, if you don't want to help me out at all, I'll absolutely open a case because she could have either just given me some of my money back or she could have allowed me just to send it back to her, but she was going to make this as hard as possible. So I opened a case. I provided all the photos and evidence. I provided videos and photos, and the way that I think Mercari has now switched back to their old ways of doing things. But when this situation was going on, the way they did it was like you were in court. Like the buyer displays, they represents their side of the case, and then the seller represents their side of the case, and then Mercari will
Nice.
decide in
You
one of
have
the
a
person's
plaintiff, you have a
favors.
defendant, you have a judge, you got everything, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to tell my side of the story. I had to show, the photos and the video, and I showed all the tape. I showed the packages, all of that. I had it all spread out, and they decided in my favor, of course, because it was damaged and the disc is scratched. But, I've kind of been put off a little bit on getting another copy of it. So the positive side of this is that I got it for free. The negative side of this is that this thing probably doesn't work. But
The disc?
yeah, it probably doesn't work.
Oh, you haven't even tried it yet?
I haven't tried it, no.
Mm.
I
Your
truly
disposition has
like
been soured that much.
a little bit, yep. Yep. Because I got it and I was so angry about it and I just pushed it aside, and then this whole situation transpired, and even though it was decided in my favor and everything, I was just like, hmm. So I've just had it sitting in my like cupboard up until today.
Very good. Well, at least you got it.
Hmm.
Hopefully it plays when you go to play it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But if not, you can just pawn it on a trash depot and call it a day.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and I still intend to get that art from eBay if it's still on there. Didn't seem like anybody was purchasing it. When they first put it up, it was like $40,
And now
and
it's
it
like
had
20.
steadily whittled down to 25. So I don't think anybody's interested. So
Yeah, I mean, it's always
yeah.
cheaper to go that route anyway. Like, much easier to find the art at a decent price than the game. So, eh,
Hmm.
let bygones be bygones and package things shittily, I guess. Yeah.
Again, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. That was ridiculous. Like, what kind of like I again, I never insulted her, but I wanted to say, what kind of psycho bitch packages something like this?
Yeah, you
Like,
probably should have just said
truly,
that.
I probably should have, but I was trying to still stay cordial.
And that's where you went wrong.
Yeah, yeah, or right, since it was decided in my favor. But
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
indeed,
at any rate, I'm glad you got the game finally. We'll
yes,
do a
thanks.
review of it in 3 years from now. I'll play my 360 version. He'll play his PS3 version. And then we'll do it in our first mutual game review. So I was about to forget to show this thing off, even though it's been sitting next to me. Finally upgraded after 5 years to my new iPhone 15 Plus, as it just flashes you right in the face on that beautiful dynamic island
Mm,
with its purple case and matching background. It's beautiful. Um, yeah, there's nothing else to say. It's a new phone and it's fantastic. I love this thing.
yeah, enjoy that dynamic background while you can before you have to turn it off because it's draining the battery on your phone.
So I only have to charge it in the house every like 2 days. The few minutes that it sits in the like the car, like when I'm driving and doing the CarPlay or whatever, is
Hmm.
enough to give it that extra like 5%. And I mean, like I gotta kill the battery on this thing. So wait till
Don't
a
you worry.
year. I was gonna say, just wait. When iPhone 16 comes out, kaput. That's what they'll do. But
It might be
yeah.
quicker. Mine started to fall to shit. Like, obviously, it's a different model, but my battery started to fall to shit 6 months in.
Mm. The only like Can't don't even know what the word I'm looking for is. Only care, I guess. Oh, and I did get Apple Care for the first time in my life, so I can break this phone and be
Mm,
fine. I wasn't gonna do it, but he
mm.
sold me on it for what was it, that
Of
nine
course he
dollars a
did.
month. Um, and then like when I got that, I'm like, should I just go raw, no case, no screen protector? And I'm like, no, I'm still not gonna do that.
That would have been so bad.
Because I would have broken it the first day with my luck is what would have happened.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it
so
doesn't make
yeah,
any sense.
but yeah,
Yeah,
nice
that's good though.
upgrade.
I
Very
I
good.
usually will pay for the first year, I think, the first year for the
Yeah, they
Apple
offered
Care.
me like a 2 month or 2 month, like a 2 year thing, or like you can do it indefinitely if you just pay by the month. So I'm like, I'll just do that until I
Mm.
decide to cancel it. Speaking of which, I never, good thing I brought it up is I never activated it in my email. Said activate your iPhone 15, whatever, Apple Care. And I still haven't done that. Might need to
Yeah,
do
you
that.
should probably do that like right now because with your luck, like they'll know like if it breaks and then you activated it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Then they
But I do
say
have to
you're
say though,
shit out of luck.
the best thing about this thing is I never fucking realized how much I hated Lightning until this uses USB-C because
Yeah.
I have one fucking cord for everything. The other day, I needed to charge my PS5 controller, and the wire is like just barely long enough to sit from like here to where my PS5 is. Just plugged it in here. I charged it from my phone. I'm like, what the fuck? You can plug in USB-C hubs, and you can do like HDMI out on this. You can do like file exploring with it. It's like a whole new world was opened up. I'm not gonna do anything with it, but it's awesome. So good
A
for
whole
Apple.
new world,
And like
a
it's
new
so
expansive point of
you
view.
say expensive.
Expansive,
Oh, well, it is expensive,
but that
but
would make sense. Yeah, sure, I
so
said expensive.
the last two remaining Apple products now that use USB-C or Lightning, whatever, are my iPad and my AirPods. And they have an AirPods case that's USB-C. It's $100. And I always like, oh, I'll just get that. I haven't bought that. In all honesty, that's probably pretty stupid. But
I think I'm like on the outs with AirPods, to be honest with you. They used to be like they used to be yeah, yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Maybe we could get that battery down a little bit quicker than 6 months. Um I think that like AirPods used to be like the top, and I think that they're not anymore. I think they're other companies have come out that have sort of leapfrogged over them in quality and in price,
yeah, and then the
because
only issue you run into though is just connectivity. The only the one of the best things about AirPods, and especially with my new phone, like
uh-huh.
it is so seamless. Like if I have these in, like if I go on my phone right now and I go watch a YouTube video, like it like instantly knows that I've switched devices and it knows like what your primary
Hmm.
device you're using is. With my old phone, it was really bad at switching it, but this one it's like
But
it's
your phone
instant. It's
was
so
made in
fast.
your old phone was made in
2018.
2008. So, that's yeah, welcome to the future, Lucas. That's why I have to turn my Bluetooth off on my phone when I use them for my computer.
Yep,
Because it will. If I look at my phone, it'll switch into it and it screws everything up. So I don't like it. So I just opt
indeed.
to not do it.
But no, very good upgrade. Glad I got it. Whatever. Have a great Christmas, everybody. What's
It
your next
was
item?
well worth well, not well worth the wait. No, it was it's about time. There we
There you
go. That's
go.
what I wanted to say.
There you go.
So yeah, category three. So I'll do this one at a time, I guess. I was at Second and Charles one day and I happened to see this and I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I purchased it and I couldn't see inside of it to see if it was complete or not. Turns out it was, and it
Oh, very
was
good.
X-Men, the official game, which is actually it came out for X-Men 3. So really it's like X-Men 3, the official game,
I would
but it's
assume
just called
Wolverine's claws
X-Men.
are like the three that's on the.
Maybe, maybe. but it's like X-Men,
Yeah.
the official game. So, yeah.
And so, which,
Um,
as far as special features is concerned, you guys can look forward soon. Speaking of X-Men, here we go. I'll show it off now
yes.
because this is mine. I
Yes,
just bought
indeed.
this, everybody. It's really cool. I have all these different
Yeah.
versions of these X-Men movies.
Yeah, he bought it from some janky seller off eBay that didn't give him a case or cases rather.
Yeah, the guy's
Um,
name was Brendan. It was really weird.
it is weird. Um, anyway, so yes, so this. I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't know how good or bad it is, but I
Hey, we love our movie
decided I'd go
license
with
games.
a
Who gives a shit? It's gonna be
this
fun
is
regardless.
correct. This is correct. And then I was at Trash Depot and I was looking through their games and I saw this and I was like, oh, I never even knew that this came out for GameCube, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I knew that it was out on like Xbox, I think, but mostly PS2 I knew about. And even Second and Charles has the PS2 version and I'd look at it and I'd go, what am I gonna do with that? I don't have a working PS2, so I'd move on with my life, but then I saw this and I was like, hot damn, I'm gonna go for it. And it was marked with like $9, I think, like 9.50, something like that. Wolverine's Revenge,
Very
which is
good.
the X-Men 2 game.
Yeah, and this one actually has the number two on it, I see at the top.
Yes, yes, indeed. So, and it says like only in theaters with the little X-Men 2 logo. Um, So these went through a rigorous process, by the way, of removing stickers from them, just so
Of
you know.
naturally.
And I actually found out something for the first time ever that if you put Goo Gone on this and you go, I'm gonna leave it so it can soak in. Okay? I don't
You're
know
gonna
why.
ruin the
I have like a
case.
Brooklyn accent. I'm gonna leave it so it can soak in. Okay? Ow! I'm walking here. Right? It will actually cause the plastic to morph.
I think I saw a
It
little bubble on there.
it starts to get all floopy.
Yeah, it gets a bit of a wonky cross going on, and yeah, I've never desecrated a case like that. I just wipe it off the second it starts to like dissipate,
Yeah,
it clumps up and yeah.
fascinating because I
And
got this advice from you. Run the tape. Yeah. So on special features, I showed off a GameCube case, right? And I was like, oh, this it was from I don't even know if it was yeah, maybe it was last special features. It was the ones that I got from Second and Charles. And I'm like, oh, this annoys me. Why put a sticker on a case when the case is worth more than the actual game? And you're like, I know, I know. But you're like, just put some Goo Gone on it and leave it on and then wipe it off. And I said, okay.
well, how long did you leave it on there for? Let me guess. You left it on there for like an hour. You went and made a sandwich. You watched some YouTube videos, and you're like, "Oh, it'll all
I
take
don't
care of
know.
itself."
You didn't specify what you meant by leave it on.
Yeah, you put it on there, and then you can see like you can literally see the sticker like eat itself off. And fun fact, if you don't have Goo Gone, you can use lighter fluid. It works exactly the same.
And then light up the lighter fluid, burn it.
That's your favorite part.
Um, that is my favorite part. Yeah, so I don't know. I left it on for a little while, and now it's sad. But it did take the sticker off, so that's good,
Well, there you
as
there
well
you
as the
go.
plastic.
Is there a hole in it, or is it just
Um,
blown out like a hooker?
it's blown out like a hooker's asshole for sure.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't care. So yes, very good. Very good indeed. Um, this game I think has a relatively good rating. I don't know. And then the grand finale item, which is lovely, let me tell you. You know what's interesting though, because the other one, this one, I did not leave it on in the same way, but it still kind of created the same issues with it, I see. Um, I was contemplating going and washing them out with like water after doing it, like washing out with water, and then I'd have to like angle it so the water would drip out,
Yes.
and then I would not have been able to show it for special features because I've been pushing this off, doing this whole removing of stickers thing. But whatever. Um, I saw this little bad boy. I'm sure you saw it as well and didn't care, but I cared. And I was like, that price is interesting. This was at Trash Depot, right? And I looked it up on eBay as well as Mercari. And in fact, my first instinct was that price is ridiculous. There's no way that it's going for that much money.
I
And so
feel
I
like I
looked it
just
up.
saw what you showed. Did you just show Mario Kart Double Dash?
Maybe,
I'm pretty sure
maybe
that's
I
what I
did.
saw in the top. It's like a
And
$90 game on GameCube. The last I
so,
checked. It was like
so,
stupid expensive.
so expensive. But basically, I looked it up on eBay and Mercari, and I saw that they had their price at Trash Depot was like $20 cheaper than any listing on eBay or Mercari. So, yes, Mario
Very
Kart
good.
Double Dash. It's complete. They
I'm
also
gonna
had
be
an
honest with you.
incomplete one.
If I were you, I would like play that game.
Oh
Do
yeah.
just one of the Grand Prix all the way through and just make sure everything plays because
Oh, I know. I know. For sure. I still have like a little bit of time on it, so I definitely need to pull that off for sure. Um, because they're bastards there for sure. That's how they got the name Trash Depot, in fact.
indeed.
Um, but yes, yes. And I even asked them if they, it was this one, it was the manager guy that you don't like. I asked him if he could go a little cheaper with it. I'm like, I've never asked this before because I've only been in here 3 times, but would it be possible for you to knock like $5 off? And he wouldn't do it, unfortunately. He was like, sometimes we will if it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time, but we just got this. And I'm
And
like,
regardless
okay.
if you pick it up or not, it's gonna sell by tonight. So I suggest you fucking buy it now, bub.
Yeah, that's basically what the tone in his voice told me. And I was like, okay,
At least you
okay.
didn't get the this one guy, he's like this skinnier white dude with like a massively receding hairline. And
Yeah.
the way he talks is he thinks that he's above everyone that he's speaking with. He's one of those kind of like nerds. So much so, in fact, when I was getting rid of like one of the extra Guitar Hero controllers that I had, two of which were from Amazon, like just no name bullshit ones. He tried because one had a logo on it with like some like Xiaomi name, like some Chinese name on it, right? And then one had no logo on it, but it's like the Les Paul body. And he goes, "Oh, this white one has a Les Paul body. It's from Guitar Hero 3, but this one, I don't know where this one came from." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're both knockoffs." And he's like, "No, this one's a legitimate controller. If you look on the back, you can see somebody open this because the warranty thing is gone." I'm like, "There was no warranty seal to begin with because it was never there." Like I'm trying to explain to him that this was a controller from Amazon that is brand new manufactured, not old from 2010, and he just wouldn't hear me out. And I'm like, "Dude, you are so fucking wrong." Because he tried telling me that the controller didn't work. And I'm like, I know it works because you got to wiggle the nunchuck part a little bit. And he goes, yeah, something to do with the connectors on here. And he pulled it apart. I'm like, everything he told me was wrong. And like, what do you do in that situation, right? Continue to tell them that they're wrong? Like the one woman who said, she called about, like, what was it? It was some woman trying to sell an iPad. And it was like the newest iPad. So let's say it was iPad 12. But the newest iPhone is 3 years above iPad because that's when they came out. So you'd be on iPhone
Hmm.
15, for example. And then the woman said, I have the newest iPad, whatever. What's the price? And she gave this lowball price because she thought it was like an iPhone. And then she goes, the newest iPhone is this. And I'm like, I heard the whole conversation. You are all wrong in this store. Fucking
Yeah.
sideways. And then the manager you're talking about advised for someone not to buy a PS3 or a PS4. because the servers are going offline on PS4 next year. What the fuck are you talking
Hmm.
about? So let's not sell the discs in your business. I hate that guy. I hate the people that work there.
Yeah, they're trash.
Depot.
But I will say that Wolverine's Revenge game that was marked with like 950 or whatever, it was actually he's like, "Oh, it's cheaper in the computer than it is on the price
Yeah, I
tag."
remember
And
last special features when I said the Call of Duty that was $46 rang up as 12 because it sat on the shelf for so long.
well, this
Yeah.
wasn't that significant. It was like $6.
Yeah.
So as opposed to $9. But yes, yes, yes.
And more, yes. So, keeping in with the video game topic, as you can see here, there's a remnant of a sticker there. Yeah. So I didn't even know that they had this until I saw it on the shelf of Trash Depot, but it is a limited run game of the first Quake. Obviously, this is already on, Steam, the Xbox store, the PlayStation store, but to get a physical copy of it though was pretty cool. So, and it was such a good price. Again, it was like 10 to 15 bucks cheaper than anything listed on eBay or Mercari because
Hmm.
you got me into checking both now.
Yeah.
Um, and they had a Doom 64. I was like, oh, I should get that too. But it was just the game. But the Doom 64 limited run came in a Nintendo 64 kind of box. Like it had all these different inserts, and they didn't have any of that. And they were asking for the same price as the box version on eBay. So I'm like, fuck you guys. But the Quake one was a really good price. It was like, I actually bought this last special features, but I forgot to show it off. So here we go. It was like a
Yeah.
30-ish dollar game. And then here we go. Brandon said in the last video that I needed more PlayStation games, so fuck you, Xbox.
Damn straight. I just realized that there was something that I was supposed to grab that I was supposed to show last time as well. And I
Oh,
didn't.
very good. I got 2 months to go for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm totally not just gonna go grab it. Um, yes. So I'll show this here. Um, so these all go nicely into categories. So I was that second in Charles and it happened to catch my eye and I was like, huh. And it was like 50 cents. And it was the novelization of E.T.
That's awesome. Actually,
Yeah. I'm like, that's
yeah, why
pretty
the hell
damn
not?
cool. Because it was so stupidly cheap. And I was looking it up online and I mean it goes for maybe like $10 or something regularly, but
Wonder if
I don't
Elliot
know.
calls his brother penis breath in the book. I
I
remember
hope
watching that
so.
movie in like, as a kid, and then they said, he calls him penis breath, and I thought that was so funny. And is there like an edited version of the movie where they took that out?
I don't think so. There
Okay.
is an edited
I
version
know
of
the
the movie
edited
though
of the
where they take out
ending.
the
Yeah, yeah,
guns.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look through it and like read it. It's based off of like the original screenplay, I think.
Mm.
So I don't know. And then in that
So
same visit,
I actually have something that's like very similar. If I could piggyback off you and show it off,
yes.
because it's a book. And it's actually pretty similar. So in 2001, when they were making the Halo games, they released a trilogy of companion books. And I'd
Hmm.
always seen them in the store. They were smaller than this, and it came in like a trilogy set. And it had the Xbox branding, it had Bungie all over it, but
There's
obviously 343 took
tons
them
of them
over
at
those
Second and
pieces of
Charles.
shit. Um, are they good condition?
I don't know. They're the smaller ones,
Okay.
and I don't look at them. Like I've seen them from a distance, but I don't look up close at them
Yeah, because
because I
on
don't.
eBay to get like all three of them in the set, like have it shrink wrap, it's about like 50-ish bucks. And it's not bad, but
Yeah,
anyway, so there's three main ones that came out at first that cover the first two games, but this one is a prequel, so it's called The Fall of Reach. It shows how Master Chief became Master Chief and then the beginnings of the first Halo game. But they also have a Halo game called Halo Reach that came out in 2011 that's a
yeah.
prequel game that does not follow this story. It has elements of it, but it is not the same. It's completely different,
Why
actually.
even call it that then?
I don't know,
Because as
but
soon as I see the title, I think Halo Reach because that's as far as my knowledge goes.
Well, because Halo Reach, it's the prequel game. It shows off like the first original six Spartans called the Noble Six, and then it shows how John, Master Chief, was created because they're like kids that are raised to be super soldiers, and it shows the beginning of all that. And obviously I'm not very far into it. I've read like the first chapter. Um, but it's actually written pretty well so far, and it expands on Halsey and Keys and Cortana and everybody. So I excited. There's Gears of War books too. I can't say I'm gonna get into those, but the first
They have tons of
okay,
those too.
but the first three, like within the Halo community, are noted as being good. And the reason I bought this was because I'm just so pissed off at everything that like Microsoft as a company is doing everything actively to piss me off. So now I'm just going back in the treasure trove and just finding older stuff that I hadn't gotten into. So there you go.
That's good.
Yes.
I always get sad when I see because like it's burned into my brain when I see like Halo books and Gears of War and then all that kind of stuff, like movie novelization, specific ones that haven't sold in forever. So it's like I see those all in my mind because they're all in the same like area.
Yeah.
And the very first time I ever went to Second and Charles, I ended up in their like novelization category. And I'm guessing it was somewhere not a lot of people found themselves in because they had tons of stuff in there that they don't have anymore. And I was stupid. And I was like, holy shit, like they have all the Resident Evil novels.
I didn't
Okay.
know they did novelizations for Resident Evil. Did they go
Yes.
game by
And
game?
yes.
That's so cool.
And I'm like, the only one I care about was Resident Evil 2. Okay. So I purchased that one. Little did I know the next time I went in there, all of them were gone.
You met your
And
maker.
they're pretty expensive. And
Ooh.
I'm such a dumbass. So whoever went in there and purchased the rest of them, they didn't end up with the Resident Evil 2, I'll tell you that. Um, but I was like, I don't know. Like for some reason, I'm like, this is the only one I care about seeing like the whole story of because that shit's my game, like
Yeah.
that's what got me into the series. And so I was like, I was like, I care about that when I remember seeing one of my friends have that sitting like on their bookshelf when I was a kid as well. So that one always was like, oh, that's cool. And there are other ones I'm like, eh. But then during the pandemic, that came along and I really got into like the first Resident Evil because I never played it fully through. So I played the remake fully through, like three times so I could get as many of the trophies as I possibly could. Three times. I beat it three times. And the last time I beat it was on hard, which I looked as a real success, because that game, it's gorgeous looking, especially because it was originally a GameCube game, then it was
Yep.
remastered for other systems. So the version I played was like the PS4 version. But it's fixed camera angles and stuff, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It kind of became like my favorite. Like it kind of pushed some of the others aside and sort of became like the king in my eyes. And by that point, I'm like, I want all the Resident Evil novels. And obviously, then like, you know, the remake of three came out, followed by, the remake of two came out, but then the remake of three, and then the remake of four. And it just got me back into that whole world even more than I ever have been. And I was like, I would purchase all of them, because they were
Mm,
cheap. They were like $3 each.
that's really
I would
cheap.
have purchased all of them. So now I just get sad when I see you hold up like a Halo book or Gears of War because when I see those, I think about Resident Evil too, because they were all sitting there together. So,
And like it's an underappreciated thing, these novelizations. It was really the Halloween Ends novelization that whole just anything that spawned from that. It just really intrigued
yeah.
me in sitting down and reading a different version of something I'm already, well familiar with. And it takes you a lot longer to read a book than to play a game or read a movie. You know what I mean? So you're invested in that world, and it's a way to expand your fandom. You know what I mean? Like there are
Hmm.
a lot of Easter eggs and things that you know.
Especially if it's a shitty movie.
Well, see, like the
You
Halo
know,
show is so fucking bad that like I have to make the show in my head with a book. Apparently season two is better. I got the Steelbook. I pre-ordered it anyway,
That's
so we'll
good.
see.
I don't know where I have it at. I have it somewhere, but the Suicide Squad novelization, which is a movie I despise
Uh-huh.
because it was destroyed by the studio. And I got it and nobody cared about it. I bought it from Target when it came out for like $5 and they gave me a hand job too when I bought it. But like it was that despised that nobody gave a shit about it. And I'm like, I do give a shit because what if this has even just a little bit, even just a taste of the original version of the movie in it? So I went for it
hmm
and it's somewhere, but whatever. I haven't read it. Eventually I'll read it. Because they always, when novelization writers, they always get like the original versions of the scripts. They
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be
we
forced to
talked about it
change
when we
things
did the
as time
Halloween
goes
Ends video.
on, but that's still what they get to begin with. Sometimes they don't get any information at all, and then they have to make up everything. But,
Yeah, so that's
you
how the
know,
Halo book was created. All he knew was the characters and the basic plot. Everything else he expanded upon, which they ended up using for a lot of the games later on. It was two writers that did the first three books. So they covered the prequel, they do Halo 1 and Halo 2, and then bits of Halo 3, 4, and 5 are in like different books, and I'm not gonna go that far into it, but which sucks because Halo 3 is obviously my favorite, but whatever.
sure. Staying on this trajectory, I have the novelization of The World Is Not Enough.
Very good.
I also, or as Lucas knows it, Tomorrow Never Dies. So they had this also at Second and Charles, 265.
I need to get my ass to Second and Charles one of these days and go book hunting.
Yeah, well, you definitely have shot yourself in the foot though, because when I first told you about it, it's become steadily more and more a shell of itself because people found out about it, not from
Okay.
me, but people found out about it, and people are buying stuff from there, and it doesn't have the treasures that it did when I first told you about
It's
it.
exactly
So
how I feel about Trash Depot because I that place was a treasure trove. Dude, PS3 60 gig was a
the
$60 machine
Shaner
at that
one
fucking
was
place.
like, I got a glimpse of it in its heyday with the Shaner one. The
Obviously,
one
I
was
went to
good,
the other one because that one's closer, but the times I had gone to that one, I mean, the quality is, yes, it was better.
so much better. The people were nice too that worked there. And then this one's not a novelization, but it was right next to this one because Raymond Benson, like it goes through I don't know, you can't even see that. He's the writer, Raymond Benson. See, a novel by Raymond Benson based upon the
Yes.
screenplay by Neil Purvis and Robert Wade. So he was the guy that was currently writing the James Bond novels at that time. Now it's another person, but when they take on that job of writing James Bond novels, they'll take it on for like 10 years or so, sometimes longer. And there's one guy that took it on after Ian Fleming. He wrote one book, and it's apparently really great. So I don't know. But then John Gardner came in. He wrote a bunch of books. He's not very highly acclaimed by the fans, but Raymond Benson is, and this was his original James Bond story
The new
that he
Bond
wrote when
adventure.
he first got the job. So this is basically, he had the job, so he was writing his original ones, but he would also write the novelizations for the movies as well, because it was his job
Yes.
to write the Bond novels. So GoldenEye novelization was written by John Gardner, which was his predecessor, but then he wrote Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. So, but yep. So I figured I'd jump on it because Mr. Raymond Benson here is a highly acclaimed James Bond author.
Very good.
Yes. Like this is one of the like newer ones here, Sebastian Fox. And it's like writing as Ian Fleming, which is kind
Ah,
of funky. But
interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So show off your next item. I'm gonna listen to you as I go run and grab one item from upstairs.
Okay, you can see the box and you can see the item, and this one I almost forgot about until I walked past it. I've had it like for a little while. So obviously the Fallout TV series was pretty big on Amazon. So I
Yes.
have the Fallout Atom Bomb set that includes
Yes.
let's let's list off all the games that are in here. Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, Game of the Year Edition, Fallout New
Yes.
Vegas, Ultimate Edition, Fallout 4, Game of the Year Edition, and Fallout 76. Guess how much I paid for this, by the way? Doo doo doo
Yes.
doo 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 doo
Um,
doo doo
you
doo
paid
doo 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 doo.
$30 for it.
It was 60, but to get all those games plus the add I'm probably not gonna be able to hear this, but if you press the button
No.
and it's stopping, it's not even doing the full sound effect.
Here,
There we go. Now it made the whole sound effect. Um,
but not
uh,
where I could hear it though.
yeah, I'll put a
Here we go.
video of
Play
it.
it now. Is it playing?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
100%.
I don't even I took off the noise suppression.
You really don't hear any
No.
of that?
No.
Anyway, but so you did see one caveat with this though. Um, with this nice logo right here. You know what that means? Even though I still do have this nice big old box, of course, and I haven't redeemed everything yet, so I can't show the backs of them, but all the games do come on special cards. This is the stats that you pick at the very beginning of the game, so it's a nice little callback to it, but every game has its own card. So that's where your download code is. But it was 60 bucks, like I said, and on
Yes.
eBay, on eBay, people were asking for much more than double that. So my friend had sent me a text. He's like, dude, I'm sure this isn't going to be on here for very long. It was a third party seller. And I shit you not, within, I think it was like 2 days, they were all sold out and they haven't been back online since because these are like new old stock. They've been around for a while, but with the show becoming so popular, people are going back to pick up all the games. And it'll be my first time playing the original Fallout. So that'll be fun. God, there's so much stuff here. Because I am a huge Fallout 3 fan. That's what started like my Bethesda love. And then obviously New Vegas is great. Fallout 4, I'm gonna be honest, I can really take it or leave it. It's a fantastic first person shooter, but as an RPG, leaves a
Yes.
lot to be desired. Remove
Look
your
at that seamless
PlayStation.
transition. Wow.
Yes.
That was so cool, Lucas, that box set.
Oh shit, you didn't even get to see the special cards.
I'm gonna
So when you
pretend I know
start,
all
okay,
about
so
this.
when you start the game, these are all of your stats, and you're able to put X amount of points toward each one. So, like charisma, this, for example, is going to affect your speech skill and how easily you're able to
Riz.
woo people, woo people into doing whatever you want them to do. Plus, it'll give you like cheaper products for vendors and stuff. Intelligence will increase like your science skills so you can hack computers more easily. Like everything is just a way you're gonna play the game. Um, God, I wish you were into RPGs because it's hard to have a conversation with you about it. But that was
Yes,
really loud. That was really loud. Anyway, so those are the special cards.
Super Mario RPG. Oh God.
Yes.
Alrighty.
But I haven't played Fallout 3 on PC, so that should be fun.
So much fun. Damn it. Oh, won't you be my neighbor?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, may as well show off what I just grabbed.
If you didn't,
I
I'd
was
say
supposed
that's
to
disingenuous.
I was supposed to show this off last time, but I was like, I don't care. You knew I was getting it. Um, and then I was like, oh, I noticed that and by the way, let me say, if there's anything I missed, a photo of it will be inserted right here.
Ding.
Oh man, I can't believe I missed that. I, so I noticed I missed this one last time and I went, eh. But then I'm like, I may as well grab it since I'm showing off so many games and movies and stuff. But it was the Wonka
Oh, very
Steelbook.
good.
Yeah, see,
See,
it hasn't
okay,
even been
so
opened.
and I said it before, and I was gonna get that when it was on Walmart, and I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, you're a liar.
But I do have as I don't like the movie. I've made no fucking secret about it. I
Yes.
love that case design, that box art. I think that's fantastic. Even though I don't think the candy looks like chocolate, I love that. It just looks great. Gives you that old
Yeah.
school like box of chocolates, pull it out kind of vibe, the stuff that grandma has.
It has a really distinct smell to it, by the way. And it's not chocolate. It's like I
Like the
don't know,
scratch. I was gonna say
like
like the scratch and
bookstore.
sniff. Remember the
Like
scratch
when
and
you
sniff
walk into like,
poster
of
for
course,
Wonka?
but no.
The poster that you gave me, it was a scratch and sniff. There's a circle, it's like scratch, and it smelled like medicinal chocolate.
Oh, that's cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like what you smell when you walk into like a bookstore, like an office supply store.
I fuck with it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's really strong.
Mm,
Look at that miserable son of a bitch.
I know. I hate it.
He hates his life so much, and I'm talking about the real Hugh Grant. Um, Alrighty then.
Well, I
Alrighty
guess
then.
I'll show my next movie. Which I would think you'll be showing yours immediately after, unless you didn't get it. But I told you when it got announced because I was excited, or at least interested,
Oh,
rather. But got my Killer Clowns from Outer Space Steelbook from Amazon.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have
No,
it.
no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. It's the killer clown, wow, wow, wows from outer space. I love that song.
Um, yeah, I don't have it. I still have it on like pre-order at
Okay,
Amazon because I had to go to Motor City Comic Con and stuff, so I haven't paid for it.
very good.
Oops.
But there you go.
I'm gonna show off the rest of these at once. As one category. So this is a fun little movie. I got this from the Walmart website. I had it in my cart forever. Then it would run out of stock. Then it would come back into stock, and so on and so forth. And I played that little game with it for a while. Pretty cheap. I think it was like $20. And it's a really fun little John Cusack movie, actually. And I went through like a John Cusack period, like everybody does when they're trying to decide if they're gay or not. No, didn't that sound like that's where I was going though? No, I went through like a like I went through a Al Pacino period where I watched all the Al Pacino movies that I could, and
I
still
had
some of my
a
favorite movies of all time come from that period of
same
time.
thing with my Tim Burton phase for sure, and then stem from that, I saw like almost everything Johnny Depp was in because he was so fucking
I did
huge
that.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I know.
that was probably one of my originals was the Johnny Depp one when I was younger. And then there was like Al Pacino, and then there's like really specific movies from Al Pacino, like And Justice for All, that people don't talk about, but they know quotes from it. You're out of order. You're out of order. This whole damn courtroom is out of order. Like that's a heavily quoted line,
Oh, see, I
and it
know
comes
that
from that
line, never
movie.
seen the movie. There
It's a
you go, poetry
fantastic
in
movie.
motion.
So I saw um this movie during my John Cusack period, and it's really a lot of fun. It's like a guy, I believe his girlfriend breaks up with him. Obviously, you can tell I haven't watched it since I got the Steelbook, but um, his girlfriend breaks up with him, and then now he wants to die. So the entire movie is him trying to kill himself, and it getting like him getting like stopped every single
Honestly,
time he tries to kill
that
himself.
sounds like something I would really enjoy.
It's very funny,
With all of my
very funny.
fucking
It's
relationship female
classic.
problems.
Classic young John Cusack.
I love it. That's so funny.
Yeah, it is good. I like. Um, and then I showed off part one of this, so I'll show off part two now. I'll show off
Oh,
part
very good.
three, next special features.
It's still on Amazon from what I remember because I saw it listed on there. I'm like, I should probably get it. I haven't got it. I bet you now it's probably gone.
Oh yeah, it's probably gone now. Indeed, indeed. Um, Then there is this movie that everybody hated. I saw it in theaters. I thought it was okay. It's also the most like heavy duty steel books I think I've ever held in my
Hmm.
hands before. Um, this and Logan. Like I felt Logan when I took the disc out to give to you. And I'm like, why does this feel like this? And I opened it up and it has um two Blu-rays in it and it has two 4Ks in it.
Hmm.
The
Oh, it's
Logan
a
one
hefty boy.
does. Yeah, and regular theatrical cut Blu-ray, and then the black and white version, like they did with like the Justice is Gray edition of
I
Justice
mean, you
League.
really could just turn the contrast all the way down if you really wanted
You
to.
could. You could. Yeah, it's called like Logan Noir version or something like that. And then those same two versions for 4K. You could also just put on the same disc. I know that's crazy. That's
I mean, I guess they
madness.
are dual layer to 100 gigs.
Yeah. So what's
Or they
going
just have so
on?
many Blu-rays left around that I would assume that there probably are a lot of 4Ks that just use like a 50 gig disc. Never looked into it, but
Weird. Weird, that's all I'm
wouldn't doubt
saying.
it. Anyway,
I pre-ordered this back in March, from Amazon. I missed out on the Walmart version, which has a different cover on it. And Amazon screwed me. So they actually ran out of stock before they could fulfill my order. And so it changed. It was about to ship, and I was like, yay, it's gonna ship. And then it changed that night to
go
saying
fuck
like
yourself.
waiting for shipment date, like something like that. And when that says that, that means that it's no longer about to ship and that they don't have it
Oh,
anymore.
kind of like the Exorcist Steelbook 4K that took 7 months to arrive.
Yes,
Because
very
it said
much
like,
like
you know, it was
that.
like it said it was ready for delivery and then it just stopped.
Yep, exactly right. So, because everybody lives, especially if you live like in a somewhat populated area, you are by a Amazon distribution center. So nothing really ships from them. It just gets thrown into a truck and drove to your house.
Yeah.
That's shipping these days. So when it says shipped, it'll say shipped just that morning before it arrives. Um, which is great, but whatever. So yeah, never got it. I had to put my story on Facebook. I was bitching and complaining. I did get made fun of by a fair amount of people, which is strange to me. They're like, "Oh, first world problems, cry me a river." Like, come on. You would be annoyed too in this situation, I think. Not you, but I mean, in
I
generally
know.
speaking,
I got the gist.
somebody watching this. Because that was super. I was pissed. I wasn't like, violent or anything, but I was angry.
That's surprising.
I got out my my frustrations by writing it out. And one
Indeed.
guy saw the post and said, I have an extra one if you want to purchase it. And I said, sure, how much? And he's like, I'll sell it to you for retail. And I said, you beautiful, beautiful bastard. So
Very good.
that is The Crow
Oh, nice.
4K steelbook. And the Walmart version was different. It has like Eric Draven's entire face here inside of The Crow, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I prefer this version. So
Very
sue
good.
me.
Okay, I will.
I'm very excited for this. Um, but I haven't watched it yet. You know what I've been watching? I might clip this as like a short. Not like a not a short, but an actual YouTube short. My entire life, I've never seen the RoboCop movies. And this really shows that I'm a piece of shit because I said this to Brad yesterday. I was like, Brad, because I watched the first RoboCop 2 nights ago, and I was like so surprised at how good it was. And I'm like, how did I never see this?
I
Yeah,
saw the
why
first
was
one
this?
year ago, never saw any of
Yeah,
the other. I mean, I know there's a
see it.
sequel, right?
There's two
There's a
sequels and
se
a
okay.
remake.
Oh, what the
Um,
fuck? They did a remake?
yes.
So are
And
you gonna get the RoboCop game now that you
there's like
told this?
Gary
Because
Oldman in it. Yes. This is what pushed me into finally checking out because this game is apparently fantastic.
uh-huh.
And it came out at the end of last year, the tail end, but it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't care about RoboCop. And then I thought to myself, it's like
It's
a
a
little
single
kid
player
going,
game, right?
yes.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
it takes place between the second one and the third one,
Okay.
the game. But I was like a little kid where it's like, hey, little kid, try this kiwi. And he goes, no. And you say, why? And you're like, I don't like kiwi. And you say, well, have you ever had it? No.
And you're like, no,
Well, how do you know you don't like it then? 'Cause
because
I don't
I
like it.
don't like it.
That was me with RoboCop, right? Um, it was like, oh, I don't care about the RoboCop game. Well, why? Because I don't like it. Have you ever seen RoboCop? No. Well, how do you know you don't like it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'll check it out. And all of them are on Max, formerly HBO Max. And so it's been very convenient to watch them. And I'm a certified fan. The first one's the best one, of course.
As most
I'm
things
almost
generally
finished with the
are.
second one. And then I have to watch the third one, which is apparently an abomination, but whatever. Yeah, that's what I've been occupying myself with that and beating GTA 3.
Hmm.
So I uh I look forward to finishing the movie. They're a lot of fun. They're like 80s craziness, but not super cheesy though. Like pretty good. And it's actually fun that I brought it up with The Crow here because they're very similar to each other, RoboCop and The Crow. Very similar to each other. Um yeah, the last two games that I purchased are things that I can't show off. They were purchased digitally because they don't exist in physical form. And that would be I finally purchased Bully for PS4
Mm.
so I can play that. Um that does not exist in physical form for anything past Wii. There was a Wii version.
Yeah, they did a Bully Scholarship Edition on 360. That was like when they remastered it and added achievements. So I
Yeah,
would
and
just
then they didn't have
assume,
a PS3 version
yeah,
for
yeah,
some reason. Don't know
because
why.
Rockstar was, I don't know.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's another game I still have to. I have my PS2 original copy of the game, but I need to pick up the Scholarship Edition on 360 at some point.
Or the PS4 version, digital, which I'm not usually into digital stuff, but it's 1080p, 60 frames per second. So that's
You
all
sound
I'm
like you
saying.
sound like a PC gamer right now.
And on that same level, Rockstar, yet again, a game I never got to play when I was a kid because I was not allowed to play. Manhunt for PS4. So
I didn't know they re-released it. So with the original Manhunt?
the original Manhunt, that's
Okay.
the only Manhunt that ever came out for PS4. But
Yeah,
not physically. Physically would be cool.
because
But
Manhunt 2 is only on the Wii of all fucking
Mm-hmm.
things,
Yep.
PS2 and PSP. So I have Manhunt 2 on PSP, but I had the
Crazy.
first
That
one
game has
on
terrible
original Xbox.
reviews. Um, like people like the first Manhunt. Apparently nobody likes the second one. But eventually I will get that for Wii, that one.
All I can
So
say about the second one is the graphics on the PSP. It is one of the most beautiful PSP games visually I've ever seen. Like that obscure, like Silent Hill Downpour, I think it's called. No, it's Silent Hill Shattered Memories that's on PSP and Wii. That, oh my God, those graphics are fucking insane. Anyway, were you like wrapping up your list? Because you know I still have things to show off, right?
um before I answer that question, I like how the Silent Hill games that I agree they are beautiful looking, but those are like the period of time where it's like Halo 4 and Halo 5. It's the part of the series that people like to disregard as existing.
Yep.
Shattered Memories, Downpour, Homecoming.
Homecoming was the one I
Um,
remember like the biggest fervor over.
yeah.
And then they
So
had
yeah,
the
that's the end of my list. Good day, folks. No, I have more.
All right, well, I'm stealing your spotlight for a few minutes. So I never end up showing off my t-shirts because I end up like throwing I wear them and then they always end up in the
They get
dirty
thrown in the
laundry.
trash.
Yeah, I wear them once and I throw them in the trash. So I don't go to Hot Topic often anymore. I go when they give out like the hot cash. They're doing that right now. And I was looking for a shirt in particular that was not in my size like 3 months ago when I was there. This is not that shirt. But check this out. It is the WAYSH Rob Zombie shirt. And I fucking love this. It's a great little
Yeah,
picture and the colors are awesome. It's perfect for our
it's cool.
channel.
It's from his greatest hits. That's where that painting is from.
Yeah, but it's great. It's our colors and it's right up my alley. So awesome. Um and on
Lucas
that note,
can only
yes.
wear green and purple, unfortunately.
So I
It's been
told
decided
you
for him.
that I went to their official page and how they have CDs and cassettes and vinyls, but I bought their shirt from Hot Topic. There we go. Finally got a cigarettes after sex shirt. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I have more t-shirts, by the way. This one I showed you at
Oh
work
God.
already. You saw it.
Hmm.
Very cool photo. Very
And I
nice.
just kept
Everybody.
staring at it and couldn't figure out what the hell I was looking at.
And then
I
the
can see
last,
why now that you're holding it up, because it's like a Boris Karloff Frankenstein that somebody went in and decided to get fancy with and adding new
yep, that's
scars and staples and shit.
exactly what it is. And then the last shirt, I showed you the picture of this already, but the halfway to Halloween shirt, which is really
Hmm.
cool. So very nice. New t-shirts to add to the collection.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, indeed. I'll go for this since it's close and nearby. So we're headed into the actually no. You know how before that I have one item.
Yeah.
Um, so I purchased this and I got a deal on it. I actually purchased it off Mercari, which makes this story even more fascinating and heartwarming in a way.
Okay.
So you'll see. So I got a good deal on this figure, right? And
Don't
you're
you have
looking
this
at
already?
this. Yeah, don't I have it already? Yeah, isn't this the Michael Myers figure for H1? Isn't that what this is?
No, that's not. There we go.
Yeah. They literally are stupid and they just use the exact same box.
I didn't. Okay, so at Screamers, they had them and I'd seen them there. I didn't even look at the. Okay, it fucking checks out. I didn't even look at the box, but like, yeah, but I know that the H1 figure is in that box because I see it all the time.
Hmm.
That's stupid. Fuck you guys. but whatever. Anyway,
Correct. They should have put this on the front. This would have been better on the front.
yeah.
No. No thumbs up. So yeah, so I got a good deal on this. I had to kind of just like it was a good price, and I gave the guy I threw out a best offer on it, and he took it, so it was even less than what he had it listed for. And so
Wow.
then now I'm thinking like, is there
He
something wrong
knew.
with it? And it came from like a supplier, and I was like, could I see a photo of it? And he was like,
No.
sure, how do I send the photo? And I was like, well, just add it to the listing, right? And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and he wouldn't do it, you know? So that annoyed me, but I was like, somebody's going to snatch this up. So I just gambled and I went for it and I purchased it. And all of a sudden, he's not shipping it. You know, it got to the point where Mercari had to like scold him for not shipping it. And I'm like, oh God, this is this is going south somehow for me. But eventually it shipped and it showed up, and it's all good except for one thing. And this is not his fault, of course. And I looked at the tape and stuff to make sure that the tape wasn't screwed with, you know, because he might have seen that it was messed up a little bit and whatever. That's why it was cheaper. But everything is very nice except for there's a dangly button. Look at that dangly button. It's about to completely fall off. See it?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yep.
And this is going to be the first time that you ever really hear me really, really sing praises to Trick or Treat Studios. You ready for this? So first I get this figure and I'm like, classic Trick or Treat Studios, trash quality. Thanks, you know? And I'm like, you know what? What can I lose on this situation? I didn't purchase it from them, but let me get in contact with them and see if I can get like a replacement jacket from them, right? It's still their product. You know, it's like you walking into an Apple store with an iPhone that you got from Verizon, right? So,
Yeah.
still their product. They still made it. The lady gets back to me, and I thought she was going to tell me to go fuck myself, but she didn't. She said, "Okay, I will talk to the shipping director and see what they have to say about it, if they have any additional, you know, pieces for the figure or anything, blah, blah, blah." Never heard anything again. 2 weeks went by, right? And still hadn't heard anything. Last night, actually, I emailed her again and said, "Hey, just want to follow up. Did you hear anything back from the shipping director?" And still nothing, nothing, nothing. And I actually went to go grab the mail today, and in there, I see a little package. And I'm like, I'm not expecting anything. What is this? And I'm not going to show the front of this, obviously. My
Oh,
address is
why
on
not?
it.
Turn it around.
But it's from Trick or Treat. Ooh, look at this. It made my screen blue.
Wow, what the fuck?
It's like
Violet, you're
it,
turning violet, Violet.
yeah, it's like it's completely messing up with what it thinks skin tone and stuff is when it sees this.
You
That is
damn
so weird.
Simpson. That's really
How
bizarre.
weird is that? Huh. Okay. That's cool. Um, so yeah, I opened it up and I haven't taken it out of its little plastic thing yet, but replacement Loomis coat.
Wow. I'm fucking genuinely shocked. So now we don't have to
I
pull the
am
old
too.
switcheroo.
Yeah. So thank you, Trick or Treat Studios. You really shocked me on this one, let me tell you.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Now I'm trying to think here, Brandon. Okay, I hit three and a half more things to show off.
Okay.
Okay. All right. My other big black water bottle is just
That's what she said.
too large to fit in the cup holder of the car. Giggity. So of course, amongst my travels, we found the Captain Spaulding Rudy Tooty fucking fruity uh sparkling water container. It's just littered with misspellings on the back because this is obviously,
Also, it just occurred to me the saying is tutti fucking fruity.
well, they
Tutti
have it
fucking
censored.
fruity. Oh, wait. You said Rudy Tooty fucking
Yeah,
fruity.
that's exactly what I said.
So it's right.
I'm talking about the back though. This.
It just didn't have the Rudy
Um,
Tooty on in it because I'm
uh,
like, that wasn't in the line.
so there's one
But
death
yeah, I
that's
know.
guaranteed. Um, there is Violet Crime Photography. Those are the two that I know of off the bat.
Let's take a look at that again. Put that back up at the screen because I have questions. Like, who's Mr. Ding Dong?
Aren't these like the people that are in like Spalding's little museum like tour at the beginning? Doesn't he
I don't
name
think
off a
so.
bunch of
Because
people?
Cutter is Captain Spaulding's first name. And Wolf J. Flywheel is a character that's in a like a Charlie Chaplin movie or something like that, which is where the name Otis Driftwood comes from. They say
Hmm,
this in Devil's Rejects. And you learn Captain Spaulding's first name as well in Devil's Rejects because Otis calls him that.
very good. But anyway,
So,
just a fun, stupid little cup. It caught my eye. It was the
yes,
last one there, and I said, "Give me that Mercari. Give me that Timu fucking piece of shit stat."
definitely Timo, more so Alibaba
Okay,
or
Alibaba. Alibaba.
yeah, or Alibaba, AliExpress, or a drunken person on Etsy.
You know what? That's I think it is from Etsy, something like that, because there is a lot of Etsy stuff that they'll have in the store.
I don't
Um,
know. Usually things from Etsy are handmade and better quality.
I see. Anyway, so
Yes,
fun little that.
indeed, indeed. So this one is two fun things in one. And starting off, this is one that came in like right after we did the last special features. This gentleman was in town. I could not go see him, unfortunately, but Anthony and Alyssa were able to get his signature for me, and I was able to pay them back. And that was Roger L. Jackson.
Very good.
Yes,
Beautiful.
glorious, you may say. Very nice. Roger L. Jackson, Ghostface.
In case you
And
didn't
then this
know.
one I did get in person. This was the only one that I got at Motor City Comic Con because Lucas's girl decided to screw us all over. So
Yes.
that was Hayden Panettiere, and she canceled last minute, literally the day before, even though she has been set to show up at the convention for like 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah,
And
very
supposedly she
shitty.
was out of the country, so whatever. But who I chose to get instead was
Jen Taylor.
90s icon. You know it. 90s icon Helen Hunt.
Very good. Yeah, I saw the listing on there, and I told Brandon I missed out. I should have went this year because they had Steve Downs and Jen Taylor, aka Master Chief and Cortana, and I would love to have my Halo 3 signed by both of them. Oh, that'd be great. Along with the theme of signing my movies and shit. But yes, what's the
Seems to
line
me
at
that you
Fat
should have been more
Bastard?
excited about Hayden Panettiere.
Well, we
Um,
hang out on like a weekly basis anyway. Me, her, and Dan. You know, it's a thing.
that's true. That's true.
Um,
So yeah, so I met her. She
yes.
was incredibly nice, and it was good. And I really didn't, no offense to the late great Bill Paxton, I'm not a fan of traditionally of getting photos with two people in it unless I can get them signed by both people. And now
Okay.
when you're showing me a photo that has a deceased person in it, I'm like, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I love the movie Twister, and the sequel comes out this year, but I mean, I'm still just like, But I was forced into it because the photo, she did have another Twister photo where it was just her. And it was the one I wanted initially. She's like standing next to a satellite, like on top of a van. It's very cool. The quality of that, photos really don't go by this kind of quality, but let's say it is the same thing that photos are the same thing as movies. This
Sure.
thing was like 20p, you know? You have 1080p and this was 20p. Like it was that bad of quality. From a
Yes.
distance, it looked great. Up close looked awful. This one would be like 1080p. And so I was like, fine, I'll go with this one. It goes against my principles, but I guess I'll go with it. So I will never have Bill Paxton on this photo, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Cry? Cry myself to sleep, probably.
Well, nothing out of the ordinary there.
True. And for anybody interested in Twisters coming out later this year, um, she might be lying. I don't know. Apparently, she has nothing to do with the movie.
Mm.
They didn't even ask her to reprise her role in it.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Bad.
Yep. And I was
Very
like, well,
bad.
that's crap. And she's like, I think so too. And she's like, people see sequels because they like the first one, right? And I said, yes. And she's like, so why wouldn't you ask the cast from the first one? And I'm like, I don't
Mm.
know.
All right. Do have another article of clothing here, and it is another WAYSH edition of clothing. So I do
Thong.
think the how did you know? So yes, the masses
Like
are
it.
listening in terms of our fan base and manufacturers of clothing, apparently. So we
Mm,
have my favorite movie ever. We talked about it already earlier. We'll talk about it again. Got a new hat,
yes.
and it is the WAYSH version, purple and green. There was one that was all black, and I think it was green on the bottom, but of course I have to get the purple one with the purple outlining. Um,
Sure, sure.
yes,
See,
and
when
then
you said it was your favorite movie, I thought it was going to be Eyes Wide Shut.
no, that is someone else's favorite movie. Anyway, so yes, that, and then just to go along with it, I showed you this already, but got my little keychain for my trick-or-treater trio to match my purse.
Yeah, you have it on your purse, and you can hear Lucas coming as soon as he enters the building at work.
Yes.
Here.
Oh no, hold on.
You know,
And that's
keep
how to
doing it. Keep going.
hey
No,
Brandon.
I'm so angry. What is wrong with that?
I don't know, but you can't tell me I'm not making any noise on this motherfucker.
Maybe something's wrong with your microphone. I wish I had keys on me and that I will jiggle them and see if you hear it. This
Anyway, but
is
yes.
close enough. Tell me if you hear this.
Yes,
You do?
mostly.
Wow, that was just 2 coins in my hand. Impressive.
A friend with weed is a friend indeed, but a friend with gold is the best, I'm told.
Lucas has to return his microphone.
Uh,
Either that or it's not switching. Like when I switch it, it's not switching on your end and it's staying in
yeah, who knows?
background noise suppression. I don't know. I
I have a
don't
sneaking
know.
suspicion that this logo is about to turn off any minute now. Oh
I
no,
think
we have 33 minutes left.
that's impressive because there's been times where we haven't even been finished with our pre-show chit chat and that thing goes off.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, just so you're aware, I have one more item to show off.
Just
And
so you're aware,
a
go fuck
puss.
yourself.
Yes.
I have technically like 5 items, but just two groupings. So technically 2 items. So this works out perfectly, actually. So you just showed off your key tags. I'm gonna show off this little ditty. This was at Motor City Comic Con, and State Farm does this, I guess, as like advertisement for their company. And so they had this little tent there where they made like customizable bobbleheads. You'll see, it's nothing to write home about. But I was like, who would stand in line and pay money for this? And everybody's like, oh no, it's free. And I was like, say what now? And they're like, yeah, it's free. They just hope that you'll call State Farm. And I'm like, oh, okay. And when you do it, they get your name and your address from you and your phone number, and then they put like a State Farm card for an agent in the back of this. And they took my picture. They did not ask me for any of my information. They must have forgotten, and they did not put an agent's card in the back of this, so they don't have my info at all. So I haven't been harassed by them. And also, I was able to get a fun bobblehead where I'm a cat.
It's fucking hilarious. Very good. So your cat suit Mario.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I'm jealous. And I don't want one with my head. I want one with your face on it.
Yes, it's true. That well, I'll sell these. This will become like WAYSH. It'll say WAYSH Farm at the top. It'll become WAYSH little merchandise, right?
But you know what? You know I like my
Um,
movies autographed, so you're gonna have to autograph this.
oh, I already autographed my own. But what's funny is actually I get this and I let like Anthony's brother Ben did it. Anthony didn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want them to have my information. Obviously like half joking, but he just didn't want to do it kind of thing. Like if he wanted to do it, he would have done it. But he didn't care. He was like, screw State Farm. And I'm like, I know, but and they didn't have a little Jake body either. Like, doesn't that seem like a missed opportunity? Like they had
Yeah.
like 20 different bodies. One was like a gamer body. The other one was like a baseball, this kind of stuff, like baseball player, but no Jake. I find that highly unacceptable. Anyway, so they had like cat dog ones, and the ones on display, it was a cat's face in this, like an actual cat's face. Like it's not for humans. So I thought it was unique.
You're not,
But
but
I told them, I'm like, I have it in my hand, we're walking away. I'm like, they didn't get any information from me. And Anthony was like, good. And I don't know, 20 minutes goes by or so, and I go to look at it, and the face is now missing from it. And like, it was like, where'd it go? Like, with the photo dropped out somewhere, and the face is gone. And Anthony was like, yeah, that's because you didn't give them your information.
I was about to make the same joke, so that's funny.
Like they retracted it, which was super super funny. That's definitely up there with one of the funniest jokes that Anthony I think has ever told. And it was just like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And really it was stuck like up here at the top, like it fell
Hmm.
out and was just hanging up here. But yeah, that was good. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I'm gonna give it to you. You can carry around, put it
Cool.
on a
We'll keep
keychain
it in
and
my
have it
purse.
dangle from your purse.
Yep. Though my keys that are dangling that are on my waist, those are not on my purse. My purse is its own thing. It's a temple.
Your body is a temple. What?
Hmm.
Look at it messing up the
I know.
coloring again. It
I
doesn't like
noticed it.
orange. Like
What if
things
I
that are like
put
orangish yellow. It did a little bit. Do you have anything around that's like more yellowy? Like an envelope?
Oh, it did it. You can see it a little bit. It's changing.
Yeah,
Like, yep.
yeah. It doesn't like yellow. I wonder why.
It's racist toward the Simpsons.
True.
Well,
You just notice the ear on this thing is broken. It's real
what, I
quality.
was about to say, what quality were you expecting out of a free bobblehead?
You know what? I want the highest of quality.
Oh my God.
I wish you could see this back here. It'll forever be back here as a part of the set now. Look at it. It shakes just like me.
Oh Lord. I like how the spot on the side just looks like a fucking like someone wiped their ass with the side of the bobblehead.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Oh Lord. That's pretty funny. You're such a giant pussy. Ridiculous.
Anyway, if I had like a little shelf here, I would put this on there.
Put him on top of
I
the
should,
pumpkin.
this should have been the first thing I showed earlier, so I could have had this sitting here like this
Yeah.
as I went to go grab the Wonka item. That would have been really funny,
Yeah,
actually.
that's funny.
What did you say to do?
Put him on top of the pumpkin.
Oh, it's gonna fall off and break even more.
There's not a flat spot at the top of it, like anything that would hold him.
No, not really. Not for any prolonged period of time.
Put a piece of duct tape on it. Just roll. Actually, it'll fuck up your pumpkin, probably.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Anyway, you pussy. At least you got it. I mean, that thing is hilarious, though. So
Yeah, it's
very good.
good. All right. Welcome to the WAYSH giveaway. And by giveaway, I mean $40. I'll sign the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll keep the made in China sticker right
To
on
sign
there
right
for you.
over it, so that way if someone peels it off, the signature is missing parts of it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. China. All right, China, okay. China.
Mm-mm.
But in many ways, China is actually a great country. It is, in many ways, my favorite country. All right, China. Everyone likes China, right? Everyone likes China.
Mm-mm.
Big, big, huge, huge, huge China. Okay, huge, smelly China.
Nasty.
Very, very China, but in many ways, China is actually like Seattle because it's very wet there. So you got huge, wet China, okay? And also, it's hairy. And it's like, wait, what?
Mm-mm. All right, Brandon, my last item here. You ready? We're gonna round it off here because
I'm
I got a pizza.
scared.
Got a pizza in the oven.
I'm scared.
So I'll give you one guess. I was able to guess two of your items. Um, this is an item you showed off last special features, and I got mine.
Mm,
So you can
you
take a
were
guess before I
jealous?
show it. Yeah, totally. I was just I was being consumed. I couldn't stay up at night, but I was tipped off
You mean
that
you only stayed up at night? You couldn't sleep at night.
yes.
Not
Anyway,
staying up at night it would be a good problem to have.
yes, you're correct. Just like Rudy Tooty fucking fruity. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you have your one guess. Are you ready? You can guess.
Um, I don't even know. I showed it off last time.
Yes.
The fall steelbook.
Nope. You're wrong.
Oh, good shit. I
Yeah,
I have it
they
right here, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. You are so lucky that they restocked that
so I
because
waited until obviously my favorite place got them so I could look at a whole stack of them
oh
and
God.
I was able to
Your
look at
favorite
like
place meaning Shitsville?
yes. So she pulled down like two boxes for me. I opened them up and then I went through two boxes of them plus the ones that were already on the shelf. They had like five boxes total of them. So I knew I was gonna be able to get one still. So I was able to, pick one that had virtually no paint issues at all because some of them were a little funky.
Huh, I haven't
But
encountered. I've had two of them and I haven't encountered
oh, you got two of them?
any issues. Yeah, I
But
got a second one
okay.
because the first one did have a problem. I mentioned in the episode, I can't remember. Um, now.
But
Oh, I don't.
Chris,
Maybe I didn't mention it. The robe was falling apart.
oh no, I don't think you
I don't
mentioned
think
it.
I. Yeah, because I
Um,
was looking at the paint too, like you, and it turned out the thing that you should be looking for is the
there
robe
was
because
one
it was
that
dangly threads coming off of
it
it.
was not only that, it was like the button placement was all fuckety. There was one where it just looked like shit. And there was one they had on the shelf where the chrome mask fell off and it's like rattling in the side of the box. And I'll show you the picture right now and I'll put like a high res picture of it up, obviously, for the video. But look at that. You can see
It's
the
quite
mask is right
terrifying because it
there.
looks like an alien
Yeah,
face.
right.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Um, a part of me would kind of love the idea that you missed out on it because I was like, Lucas, this is the first time I've seen it back in stock for like 3 months, and I'm like, jump on it. You have the money. You told me you have the money. Jump on. I'm getting it right now. And it of course, is sold out again within, a couple hours after I sent you that link. And then you just didn't get it. And I was like, okay, fuck you.
Here we are.
Yeah. And you only overpaid by $20. So,
Oh,
not
I don't
bad.
overpay.
I think that you must have with these because they are rare and they sold out again,
Well, I got
so
it for $33 and change.
yeah. I mean, that's not a huge overpayment. I mean, that's not bad, but
They're like what, 35 bucks?
I got mine for like 28.99,
Yeah,
something
it's like the
like
same
that
price as
from
all the other ones
Walmart.
that they have.
Yeah. So now I'm scared because you have like 27 discounts that you use. What exactly do they have it priced at?
39.99.
39.99.
Well, this one's not gonna have a sticker on it because I just pulled it out of the box. But
They
yeah,
they literally have it for $20 more expensive. That was a joke.
at like every NECA figure is like 35 bucks. Where were they $28?
I sent you the link. It was Walmart.
Fuck Walmart.
They were the only ones that had it.
Well, see, here's my issue that I run into. And like my fear of missing out kicks in too, but Screamers gets like everything usually at some point. And at least I have the ability to sift through a pile of them because you
Where's
got
those
me
Halloween 2 Rob Zombie knives?
the one that you really want.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're lost in transit. Um, but I just because of all the horror stories you tell me, you know what's gonna happen when I order something from Walmart? It's gonna come fucked up. Either the box is gonna be completely obliterated, or what's in the box is gonna be a piece of shit, and then I'm gonna have these shipping problems that you encounter all the time. I don't want to go through that. You're the guinea pig.
I hope so.
You hope so that it comes crushed
Yeah.
and fucked up. What kind of friend are you?
That's what I always hope for.
You're a horrible human being. Though,
I'm happy
as
that you got it though.
those,
I'm a little unhappy that you put it in that sweaty fucker's pocket, but I am happy you got it.
Well, the one thing that I am going to pre-order from their website is the Bride of Frankenstein creature monster where they have him in the chair. Because if that thing ends up shipping as good as it looks in the pre-order pictures, that's fucking nuts.
Is that still available?
It's up for pre-order still. I didn't remember when
Are
it
you
said what quarter.
sure?
I just looked at it today. I literally just looked at it today.
Hmm. Yeah, because I sent you that when the pre-order first went up, and now every time I see it, I always think your voice pops in my head, where you were like, it looks okay.
It does look pretty good. I
You
hope it
said
looks
something
that
along that
good
you're like, looks
when they
okay.
ship it.
And then you said you followed that up with saying that you don't really have space for it, which,
Well,
is
that's why the
understandable.
Ghostface figure isn't out of the box. I want to take that thing out so bad. But where the fuck am I going to put it? Where am I going to put the box after? Like
You
I
shove that, and I think I said this to you before, you take that previous NECA release Ghostface and put that back in the box and put that into storage because this one is so much better than that one.
It is a lot better. It is a
So
lot
much
better.
better. Like they should be embarrassed of that first one because there's things wrong with that first one that should not be the case, especially for the price, because that one was more expensive than this one is. That
Was it
one
really?
was like 36.99, 35, 34.99 perhaps. For me, it was more expensive. And it's
I can
like
tell you I
they're
paid
like
35 for that one too.
the pants are nice on it. Like it has jeans, which is cool. Um, and then it sort of ends there. Like, the robe is super short. Like that was an issue right when it came out. People were complaining about that. Um, the robe and the knife, that was a licensing issue though. They couldn't get a buck. They couldn't make a
Yeah,
buck.
you said it all of this in the last episode. So if you want people, you can go check that out. So Brandon, what are the last few things you have to show off?
There is one grouping of it, but I won't show you until I see you throw away that Ghostface figure. And I don't think I did mention the licensing thing, by the way. I think I said that the original one did not look like a buck knife. I don't think I said that it was
Well, you
because of
talked about
licensing.
like the hood, the robe, the sparkles,
Yeah,
the
but
knife
I didn't mention any of
size.
that now, did I?
Hmm?
But I didn't mention any of that now, did I? I
Did you
didn't
not
repeat
just talk
myself on
about the
those.
robe? What?
I didn't talk about the hood and the sparkles.
Well, I figured you
But
were
as
going
you
that
guys can see
direction.
there, the hood is way too tight on the head. And this isn't really their fault, but the material wasn't really right for it. I don't know what they found for these new ones, but it's much better, more accurate. So I came across these once again at Motor City Comic Con, and they are an assortment of James Bond graphic novels, which I already have some of, which is good. This one was $10.
Very
These
good.
are all still wrapped up in plastic. And this is the coolest looking one by far.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
Yep. There's that. And then along with the same category there of those, I Tom King was there. And Tom King is he was the author of the Batman run of like two people ago. So there's Scott Snyder was the one that was very notable as of the recent years. And then Scott Snyder left and was replaced by Tom King. And personally, Tom King is my favorite modern Batman writer. And he was there. at Motor City Comic Con, and he was there. When they come there, they'll be in like the place called Artist Alley. So they'll be over there, and not everybody's even aware that they're there or whatever. So, um, signature from him on an item of your own was $10, which was great. But also I was like, you know what? I'm gonna purchase this from him. He had it there, amongst the things that he wrote, because he also wrote Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which this is what the Supergirl movie is going to be based on, the terrible James Gunn
Sure.
travesty. James Gunn specifically mentioned this graphic novel when he talked about it. Um, and so I purchased this, and the signature was free from him when you purchased it. So,
That's a signature, all right.
yep, it's a T and a K. But yeah, he was a super nice guy. Um, and I told him that he was my favorite modern Batman writer, and he was like, no fucking way. And I was like, yeah. He's like, that is the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. He took my hand, and he did like a two-handed kind of thing. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, well, I mean it.
Wow,
And
he must not get compliments very often.
I guess not compliments to that extent. It just really resonated with me, his run on Batman. Um, and obviously Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow really resonated with James Gunn, and I haven't read it yet. And I told him that I'm like, I'm getting this, and I'm like, I've never read it, so I'm gonna hope for the best. And he's like, I have full confidence you're gonna enjoy it, and if not, you can come back tomorrow and throw it at me.
That's
And I
funny.
said, okay, okay. So I haven't read it yet, but
You'll be
yeah.
sure to
So
throw it
I
at him
look
next time you see
I
him.
look forward to it. And I have a photo with him, which is right here.
Bing.
And nobody was taking pictures with them. Nobody asked, and then I asked, and they were like, "Yeah, sure." He had an artist with him that's done some of his stories, not ones that I am partial to, but yep, yep. And I even asked him. I said, "How did it feel to have James Gunn specifically?" You know, give praise to your Supergirl story. And he was like, it felt fucking amazing. He's like, I can remember sitting on the phone with my editor thinking, what are we going to call this thing? And then I came up with Woman of Tomorrow. He's like, I remember the moment that I came up with the title Woman of Tomorrow. And he's like, and now that's going to be on cereal boxes. That's going to be on toys. He's like, it's fucking crazy. And I'm like, it is. I didn't tell him I hate James Gunn, but I wanted
That's
him to have his
shocking.
moment. Obviously, I wasn't going to say that to him when he was so excited about his story and his title being used for a movie.
You were about to, and then he got excited about his title being used for a movie.
No, I wasn't going to. Like, I met James Gunn's brother. I didn't say anything to him about him.
Again, shocking. Surprised you didn't like
Yeah.
follow him home and like start to track him down
Yeah.
from there.
Well, his brother was nice, so that's ultimately what makes the difference. But yep. Yep. So that's the end. Before I go in, I use this tiny little porcelain box cutter to cut into Lucas's tires.
What do you use that for opening your movies?
Uh, Absolutely not. It's way too sharp. I would end up cutting into the metal. I use it if I can remember to open up boxes,
Instead
cut
of
through
just using your bare
plastic.
hands and just ripping things open like an animal?
Correct. Since, that's how you damage things. But I had to use this in question for the
Godfather.
Godfather.
Indeed. All
Yep.
right,
So
everybody.
thanks for joining us.
for the second worst edition of special features.
This one's not even bottom five. Um, but yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. What is your favorite item that you have purchased over the last month? Comment below, let us know. If you haven't purchased anything, then what's your favorite item that Lucas and I showed off? Let us know. And yeah, keep an eye out for upcoming episodes. And when you see this, I would assume that the it's not gonna be
Chucky
old
season
news,
3.
but the Chucky thing will be
It was
out,
at this
so that
moment
will
that
be
he
a
knew.
surprise for
He
you.
fucked up.
Maybe it'll be old news. I don't know. Will it be old news after like a day?
Yeah, there's
Who
no, sorry
knows?
everybody. I know you've been eagerly awaiting the streaming edition for your home video platforms, but we're not having another streaming edition of Abigail or The Flash, which is our it started as the joke from The Flash called the streaming edition. So now if a video takes forever, I like to call it the streaming edition.
I don't understand that joke. Explain it to me.
Do you remember like right before you had your like massive MacBook issue, and I'm like, bro, where the fuck is the Flash episode? I've seen this movie like 5 times, and I want to see what I thought about it the first time I saw it. Like y'all edited with your fancy editing, and then you had the issue where you like lost a whole bunch of stuff, and then I just figured it was
Mm-hmm.
never gonna see the light of day ever again. And then you said something about it like it was gonna be called like this the streaming edition. Our review was gonna be the streaming edition because it was already gonna
Like
be on
it
streaming
would release
platforms.
alongside when it was
Yeah,
streaming. Yeah, now it's the
yeah.
anniversary edition.
It's the 25th anniversary edition.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that actually the other day that I could probably have it released for the 1 year anniversary. So I could just say that and call it the retrospective or whatever.
Well, yeah,
You get to a
you
point where nobody's gonna watch it, so it's hard to get like the drive to actually finish something that you put a lot of work into.
yes. Oh, I know.
It's like how you feel about special features.
Yep. We lose the subscriber every month from it, but it's okay.
Yeah, for some reason. But yeah, yeah. You don't always know how well something's going to do. That Abigail video performed so much better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, I expected
And
a
it's
20
still
views and
going.
done.
Yeah, yeah. But
You
it
know,
ended up in the most watched of the month. So,
I feel like having interesting titles like that kind of draw people in more than just first thought slash movie review. Like if you just make like a statement, like movie review, a great movie ruined by marketing, and then it brings in
hmm
people who are like, obviously the movie was saved by its marketing. You're fucking stupid. They're completely wrong. But I digress.
it could have. It could have something to do with it. I don't know. I've experimented with similar things. Like, I don't personally, I haven't told you you shouldn't, but I personally don't put "Why Are You Still Here" movie podcast in any episodes anymore.
So I noticed
Um,
that, and I feel like I put it in the last episode title.
I think you've been putting them in all the ones that you've edited, which is fine. I haven't changed it, but
Honestly,
um,
I will keep up with the not doing it then. If we're gonna keep parody with it, I'm fine with that because people are stupid and they just want the most
it
interesting
just
title and the most interesting whatever. You know what I
it
mean?
ended up being too wordy, um, but the whole thing is that like first thoughts. It's about building like brand recognition, right? So
Sure.
it's like special features. Like I couldn't imagine us not calling this special features. Like I said at the beginning of this, like how boring would it be if we called it show and tell, or
I would
whatever.
say that it sounded pretty gay. And we don't even say that word in 2024 anymore. So
Sure. So for it to be like brand recognition, like when we say something, you know what that means. And when we say first thoughts, you know what that means, you know? You know exactly what we're going to be talking about, how we're going to be talking about it, how the video is going to be structured, all of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, that was the idea behind all of that. But yeah,
but
I mean
yes,
there's
so
a couple like those.
yeah, so anyway, everybody, let us know. What'd you pick up? What'd you like? Do you like seeing the Ghostface Inferno figure? Do you like seeing the Rudy Tooty fucking fruity water bottle with
Oh, I didn't
violet
see that.
crimes? Hmm?
I didn't see that.
The Rudy Tooty fucking fruity?
Oh, the Tootie fucking
Yeah.
fruity.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna get what I was saying before grabbing it, but I guess not.
You thought wrong again, bub. Or
Apparently.
you thought wrong again, brother. Okay, brother? Ever since you mentioned that to me, I can't stop thinking about that. Every time I watch one of his videos. Brother.
What do you think so far? Brother, it has been 5 minutes. Wait, I couldn't tell you yet.
Like when you
I
get
just
serious.
started the game, brother. I haven't even played it yet, brother.
Like, brother, I just started it.
You'll have to send me
Yeah.
that clip after this, unless you haven't already. I know you sent me some Penguins clip in the last month. I don't think it was that though.
I sent you like 3 of them. I don't know if I sent that though.
Yes.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yes.
All right. Well,
everybody.
thanks for joining us in our neighborhood today, kids. All right. We will see you.
For the next period. We'll be back in a month.
I'll see you next time. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.